I'm Gary Dornhofer of the LA Kings. Welcome to Game 4 of the Divisional Championship. Last night, we had a lot of difficulties putting that puck in the net. Numerous occasions in that first period, we could have salted the game away, but it just wasn't to be. Tonight, I think it's very important that every single guy in our hockey club do a lot of good forechecking, and if we get the chances, we'll come out victorious. We better do it tonight, or we might not have another home game here in LA. I'm Gary Dornhofer of the Vancouver Canucks. You know, in last night's game, Richard Brodeur was sensational. He certainly saved us in that first period. Tonight, our game plan is exactly the same. A lot of good, crisp checking and a lot of forechecking to get those good scoring chances. It's important that we put as much pressure on LA Kings as we can. One thing for certain, this is LA's 6th game in 8 days, and we know they're tired, so we have to take advantage of it. Our Stanley Cup playoff coverage in CBC will continue in just a moment.
Built like the big ones, saves like the small ones. The new size Ford Ranger. The only truck of its size with tough twin I-beam suspension. Ford Ranger has a double wall box that carries 4x8 sheets flat and room in the cab for 3 adults, and an introductory offer that gives you a 2-year comprehensive warranty and 2 years scheduled maintenance at no extra cost, plus $300 direct from Ford. Details at participating Ford and Mercury dealers. Ford Ranger.
If you've been waiting for John Deere lawn and garden equipment to go on sale, now's your big chance. Because right now, participating John Deere dealers are having their annual down-to-earth value sale with savings of 40 cents to $400 or more. But you'd better hurry. The sale ends June 12th. And with savings like that, you won't want to let any grass grow under your feet. The down-to-earth value sale. On now at a John Deere dealer near you.
When you buy a new car, you want to keep it looking new. And that's easy with Armor All Protectant. A scientific formula that took a polymer chemist 10 years to develop. It helps keep rubber, vinyl, leather, and plastic looking new. So even though you can't keep your car from getting old, you can keep it from looking old. Armor All. It's science, but it works like magic.
It's a sellout here at the fabulous Forum. The fans love the Kings in Los Angeles. Hi, everyone. I'm Steve Armitage with a welcome to Stanley Cup 82 on Hockey Night in Canada. Tonight it's Game 4 in the Conn Smythe Division Final. The Los Angeles Kings against the Vancouver Canucks. It's a best-of-7 series, and of course the Canucks are leading the Kings by a 2-1 margin. Vancouver can take it back home on Wednesday night for Game 5, leading 3-1. Or the Kings can tie it up here tonight at 2. Working with me on our telecast tonight and providing the play-by-play will be Don Whitman. Working with Don and providing the color commentary will be Gary Dornhofer. Coming up during our intermissions tonight, I'll be talking to the Kings' Mark Hardy. We'll have an interview with the Canucks steamer, Stan Smeal. We'll meet a very talented hockey artist, Ken Danby, and we'll update the complete playoff picture for you with highlights from last night and tonight. And speaking of action in Stanley Cup 82, let's check our playoff scoreboard right now for you in the Adams division. What a surprise that is. Les Nordiques are leading the Boston Bruins 6-1 in the third period. Cloutier has a pair there. The Islanders in front of the Rangers 3-2, and St. Louis are leading Chicago 4-3. Glenn Hanlon, the former Canuck, is in nets for St. Louis. As you can tell, pandemonium has just broken loose here at the fabulous Forum. The Kings are making their entry. It is unbelievable. The fans love the Kings. certainly making a lot of noise, providing encouragement for the Los Angeles Kings as they skate out onto the ice. A similar situation existed last night, and the only way they finally silenced them was by singing and playing the national anthem. Mario Lessard in goal once again for the Kings. The Kings playing their 6th game in 8 days. Lessard, one of the reasons that the Kings have been as successful as they have been throughout the playoffs. 9 games in 13 days to project just a little further for Los Angeles. The Vancouver Canucks making a significant lineup change tonight. The overtime hero, Colin Campbell, is not in the lineup. Campbell suffered a knee injury late in the game in the 3rd period. He continued to play in overtime, scored the winning goal, tested the knee in warm-up, is unable to dress, and his spot in the lineup will be taken by Andy Schleibner. One change for the Los Angeles Kings. Jim Fox is not in the lineup. His spot on right wing will be taken by Brock Treadway. The fans at the Forum still standing, still applauding, still cheering as they attempt to play the national anthem. Gloria Loring is going to sing the national anthem. However, Gary Dornhofer, she may have some difficulty in being heard over the noise that is reigning inside this magnificent building.
Loring is not making any attempt whatsoever to sing, and there's the right idea by the Vancouver Canucks. Just get on the ice and start skating around, and you can hear the response of the fans when that happened. They don't like that one bit.
It has changed from a chorus of cheers and applause for the Kings to boos for the Vancouver Canucks. However, I think Roger Nielsen has definitely done the right thing. He said in conversations we had with him, Gary, that if these fans continue to applaud and what has become a tradition in Los Angeles prevailed again tonight, where they did not let Gloria Loring sing the national anthems, that he would send his troops onto the ice to skate around. Well, finally, they are playing the organ. We are going to hear the national anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Would you please join me? Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched
rendition of the national anthem by Gloria Loring. 2-1, the Vancouver Canucks lead. We're just about set to get underway. Let's meet the officials in charge of tonight's game.
I'm one of the linesmen for tonight's game. My name's John D'Amico. I'm from Rexdale, Ontario.
I'm the referee for tonight's hockey game. My name's Wally Harris. I'm from Beaconsfield, Quebec.
I'm a linesman for tonight's game. My name is Wayne Bonney. I'm from Kirkland, Quebec.
In goal, Richard Brodeur for the Canucks. He was brilliant last night. 44 saves he made in backstopping Vancouver to that 4-3 overtime win. At the other end of the ice, Mario Lessard. He, too, came up with some fantastic saves, not tested as often. He faced only 28 Canuck drives. But both coaches will tell you, I think the management and the players, Gary, would agree that had it not been for the work of Brodeur and Lessard in the playoffs, the two teams might not be here.
Absolutely, and I think everybody realized that. Interesting, just prior to the game, Wally Harris was talking to the two captains, Dave Lewis and acting captain Stan Schmiel. Who knows what they had to talk about? Perhaps the hitting after the whistle.
Here's a chance for Nichols. He steals it from Sneps. His shot goes off the glass behind the goal. In back of the Vancouver net. Finally, Sneps comes up with it, unable to clear against Korab. It goes back of the goal again. Nichols moves in. He's bumped by Sneps. Back to Nichols in the corner. Out to Treadway. Treadway trying to center it. It goes loose in the corner. Poked away by Brodeur. Kelly along the boards to Nichols. Nichols is bumped. And Sneps trying to clear it, put it over the boards, and out of play.
Now we're up against it, says Coach Don Perry. All kinds of scoring opportunities, but you have to be realistic about the whole situation. That's what happened in Vancouver. Vancouver could have won game 2, 2 goalposts and a crossbar. So it seems to even itself out. We're just going to have to dig a little deeper and make sure we win this one in our home building.
Gary, you're familiar with the psych attempt at the playing of the national anthem in your days with Philadelphia, Kate Smith, and the
God
singing.
bless America. We had quite a record when they played that. And I remember the one playoff, Eddie Westfall had a dozen roses and presented them to Kate Smith.
Do you think in Los Angeles they're attempting to emulate the Flyers?
Well, I'm sure that the psych was certainly there trying to disrupt Vancouver from give them the jitters before the game.
From the face-off, it goes back of the Vancouver net. Kings trying to keep that pressure on the Vancouver Canucks early in this game. It's dumped down the ice. The Canucks, of course, continue to be plagued with injury problems back on the blue line. Hopkins in across the line. He was offside. Bozak was attempting to catch up with the play. Hopkins, a second-round draft pick in 1979 from London, Ontario. He's a big fellow, 6'1", 210 pounds. As a matter of fact, Gary, the Kings have the heaviest team in the league at 195 pounds.
It seems that when they play aggressively, they're very successful. Interesting, the number of hits. Talked to the coaches today, and for the Vancouver Canucks, 49 takeouts. That is an exceptional night. Harry Neal made mention of the fact that in the Calgary series, it was in the low 40s, high 30s. So the number of takeouts and hits we had last night, you can't expect any more than what the guys gave.
Hardy has his pass knocked down by Rhoda across the line. He tried to center it. There's a chance for Holinka, and Lessard just poked it away. Another drive, and that's knocked down, and Hardy for Los Angeles dumps it into the center ice area for Mike Murphy to Dion. Broken up, loose puck. Murphy spins around. His shot goes off snap. Kept in by Dion. Dion to Evans, a deflection. What a save. The puck loose in front, and it's cleared by Smith. And it appears as though Brodeur is going to be hot again tonight. He had Evans standing right on his doorstep. As Dion centered it, Evans deflected it, and Brodeur moved across the goal to take it away. Now Murphy feeding it in front to Dion. Dion in front to Evans, and he couldn't get a stick on it as he was being tied up by Bellin. Back comes Vancouver. Canucks dump it in, and Murphy goes into the corner after it.
Canucks are making a lot of mistakes in their own zone, which is resulting in those good scoring opportunities.
Drive by Taylor. It's deflected by Brodeur. Taylor back to the net, having difficulties there, trying to get away from Lupul. Taylor still with that puck, circling in the corner. Taylor moving into the slot, tried to feed it back to the line. Murphy's got it. He's centering it. They jam away at the side of the net. Picked up along the boards by the Kings. Bonner back to the line. Played in behind the net by Wells. Bonner in the corner now. He takes the check. Now there's some jamming and shoving as Tiger Williams, who has been shadowing Taylor, and Taylor begin pushing.
And he's done a masterful job, Tiger Williams. Can you imagine trying to skate up and down your wing and score goals the way Taylor is supposed to do, and having an elbow or a stick or being slammed against the boards? But that's been his job, and he has done it very effectively.
From the Forum in Inglewood, this is Stanley Cup 82 on CBC.
Anytime you're feeling lonely, that's the time I'll be thinking of you. So anytime you say you want me back again, that's the time I'll come back home to you.
Get the long-distance feeling.
17:22, the time left to play in the scoreless first period. The face-off to the left of Brodeur. Harold Snepts must be growing a little weary, Gary. I think he logged about 40 minutes last night.
It's amazing the way that man has played, and you know that people respect him when they start booing. You should have heard the round of boos that he received when his name was mentioned, but they understand how valuable Harold is to this hockey club. Well, the Vancouver Canucks got their opportunity just a few moments ago as Hlinka comes in. And Mario Lessard had to be very sharp to clear that one. But the Kings, because of some mistakes by Vancouver in their own zone, that time you saw Evans coming in there, and that deflection very close to going in the net. Bozak back of the net, trying to dig it out against Bellin. Now Boldarev comes in to help out, and he lugs it out. In the center ice area, Smith comes back for the Kings. He loses it. The Canucks are forced back to their own line to regroup. Snap, booed almost every time he touches the puck. I think that's more out of respect for the work he has done, because he was on the ice last night doing quite a job. It's Snaps again for Vancouver on the left side. Crawford trying to feed it in front, and it's intercepted by Los Angeles. Fired back into the Vancouver zone. Along the boards, Boldarev ahead for Crawford. He couldn't control it. Boldarev following on the play, steals it from the Kings. Boldarev across the line, but Vancouver is called on the offside. Well, last night we had announced that Boldarev won the draw for the overtime goal, but we should give credit to Hlinka for doing that. But Ivan Boldarev has to start scoring some goals. You know, he figured very prominently during the season with 73 points and 33 goals. He's yet to register a point in this series against LA.
Well, he has played well defensively for the Canucks, but he has not been the threat they have wanted offensively.
But he's a string scorer. When he gets one, he's just liable to fill the net.
Chartrand brings it out from his own zone. Long drive into the corner off the boards. The Kings trying to pick it up, but it's intercepted by the Canucks. Calder loses it in the center ice area as he and Fraser tried to cross. Fraser gets it, feeds it in front. Here's Malone with a chance, and it's just fired wide. And it's whistled down over the roar of the crowd. We were unable to hear the whistle. Apparently it was offside at the line.
No. Harris signified that the puck was gloved, and so it stopped the play. But look at that takeout by Hardy, and that is very typical of what has been going on in this series. Every single guy that's been out there, when the opportunity has presented itself, he'll go in there and make the hit.
Redin into the face-off circle. Now over to Hardy. The Canucks trying to make a change on the fly, and Smeel fell coming over the boards. Back into the Los Angeles zone. Chartrand for Mark Hardy. Hardy is spun around. There's going to be a penalty against the Vancouver Canucks. And it will be Ivan Hlinka heading to the box. Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from Los Angeles.
The following performance is brought to you by the Champion Spark Plug Company. We're starting the 1982 performance season with over 197 Formula One Grand Prix victories, domination of international motorcycle championships, worldwide use by major professional racing teams, not to mention surer starts, better mileage, and smooth, dependable performance. Next tune-up, insist on Champion Spark Plugs. Champion wins the world over.
Well, an area that you certainly don't want to take a penalty, just over the blue line. Hlinka against Hardy. So the Kings will enjoy the first power play of the evening. Last night scored 2 power play goals, the first of the series.
Well, it looks like Harold Snepf is going to get a lot of work again in tonight's hockey game. He has been killing penalties, taking a regular shift and then some. Lupul doing some forechecking, forcing the Kings to throw it around to Korab. Korab, a rink-wide pass. Evans in across the line with Taylor, and Taylor unable to control it as it's dumped back down the ice.
Now this is the time when the $1 million unit gets together as a forward line. Dion, Taylor, and Simmer. Over on the left side for Evans. Evans working to the corner, taken out of the play by Hallward. Simmer comes up with it. Back of the net. Taylor. Taylor plays it back to the point to Evans. Back to Taylor, to Evans. Over to Korab. Korab having difficulty controlling it. Plays it in for Dion to Simmer. Simmer takes the shot, dropping in front of it with Snepf. It goes loose behind the goal. Good hit by Dion to get the puck. Marcel Dion dropping it to Korab. Flat shot, it goes off a leg, and the Canucks clear it down the ice. Excellent defense by the Vancouver Canucks. They're playing the box very effectively, forcing those shots from the point.
Now young Treadway seeing his first playoff activity. Out there on the power play for the Kings. Evans fires it to Treadway. He left it there for Hardy. In across the line, Hardy couldn't control that rolling puck, and it's cleared by Vancouver with 25 seconds remaining in the penalty to Hlinka. Loose puck in the center ice area. Aldebrink shoots it into the Los Angeles zone. Treadway lost it as he attempted to pick it up off the boards, and it's flipped over the glass and out of play by Anders Aldebrink.
Now that's still the way to work against the LA Kings. If you can contain their momentum for the first 6 or 7 minutes, they seem to slow down their intensity, and that's exactly what Vancouver has done thus far. Only 2 shots for LA, 1 for Vancouver.
Quebec now in front of Boston 7-1. Goulet has scored 2 goals. The Islanders leading the Rangers 3-2, and John Davidson is in goal tonight for the New York Rangers. When was the last time he played, Gary?
October the 20th. In fact, it was against the Vancouver Canucks. And after the game, the next morning, he had a lot of back problems and hasn't played since. Good to see him back.
Nichols in across the line. Shot, save, rebound, and it's cleared by Gradin. Back to the line. Treadway was upset there. The puck loose in the corner. The Canucks back at full strength. Here's Nichols into the slot. Shot, save, and the rebound. And Kelly couldn't get a stick on it. Loose puck in the Vancouver zone. Treadway couldn't catch up with it. Dumped on the play with Gradin. It's laid down the ice. Here's Smeel with a backhand drive. Nick wide of the goal as Kelly comes back for Los Angeles. Having difficulty in his own zone. To Hardy for Hopkins. Hopkins, lead pass. Nichols trying to feed it in front. Went off the skate to the corner. The Canucks dump it to the line. Finally, it's cleared out. Rhoda tried to go around Murphy, and he was off balance, could only get one hand on the puck. And back comes Los Angeles, led by Bozak. Bozak working to the corner against Snepf. Bozak taken out of the play. Murphy races in. Back to Bozak. It goes loose in behind the goal. Smith is there. He's upset by Hallward. Now Halinka for the Canucks. Gains possession in his own zone. Halinka, rink-wide pass intercepted by Smith. 12:20 the time left in a scoreless first period. Smith runs into a check from Nil. Nil goes down at the line as Hallward goes into the corner. Hallward up along the boards for Nil. Nil into the center ice area. Bolderev had trouble controlling it, and the Canucks have to go back into their own zone to regroup. Snaps now for Vancouver. A long shot into the corner. Picked up there by Wells. He played along the boards. Bolderev got it. He scores! Bolderev, as the Los Angeles Kings were guilty of playing it carelessly in their own zone, and Bolderev scored.
Not much of a bounce off the back boards. We had talked about that yesterday, where you really don't get a good bounce, but Bolderev was jolly on the spot. He raced in. Bozak just watched him come right out of the corner. Lassard is partially screened, and it catches the right-hand corner over that blocker, and so Bolderev, scoring his first goal in this series, gives the Canucks a 1-0 lead. Excellent move.
Gary, we talked about the work defensively of Bolderev, the fact he has not been much of an offensive threat. You said once it started, he might fill the net.
Watch out now. Watch out.
Aldebrink in his own zone. The Canucks leading 1-0, 11:47 remaining in this first period. Dumped into the corner. Lewis bumps there. Puck picked up along the boards by Simmer. Too far on the right side for Taylor. It's cleared back to center ice. 11:25 remaining in the first period. Lewis forced back into his own zone. The puck goes loose. Finally picked up by Simmer. In across the line, played in back to the Vancouver net. Simmer runs into a check. The Canucks playing it up along the boards and into the center ice area. Trying to knock it down is Williams. However, he couldn't catch up with it as it played back into the Vancouver zone. Bellin steps into Connor. Puck in the corner. Canucks trying to get it out of there. Aldebrink finally to the line to Lupul. Lupul flips it back to Bellin, to Lupul. Across the line for Tiger Williams. The shot was saved by Lassard. Lupul appears to be hurt. He was upset in the spot as he got that pass over to Williams. Too far for Simmer on the left side, and Hallward goes back in his own zone. Off the board, but not out. A drive from the line by Chartrand. It's gloved and held by Brodeur. This is Hockey Night in Canada from the Forum in Inglewood.
Run with the Wolfpack. The 1982 Evinrude Wolfpack, outboard power that ranges far and wide, from the gentle 2-horsepower Cub to the wild, big 235 Silver Wolf. Evinrude, first with many outboard innovations, providing compact, quiet, fuel-efficient power for 1982. Run with Evinrude. First in outboards, available now at your Evinrude dealer.
Don Whitman along with Gary Dornhofer and Steve Armitage at the Forum in Los Angeles. 1-0, the Canucks leading the Kings. A goal by Ivan Bolderev. Kelly plays it in back of the Vancouver goal. Fraser picks it up along the boards. Unable to get it out. Here's a shot by Nichols that just goes wide. Off the boards into the center ice area. Moline rink wide for Snaps. Every time he touches the puck, the Los Angeles fans react. He'll be handling it a lot tonight if the game last evening is any indication. As we said, he was out there for about 40 minutes. Dumped into the center ice area. Snaps. Waits for Fraser to get onside. Then it's slid into the Los Angeles zone. Brought back out by the Kings. The pass for Nichols. And he was offside on the right wing.
Well, I'm sure he's not going to let the fans disrupt his game. In fact, it seems that when fans boo you, just play all the harder, you know, as if to say, well, I'll show you. And he certainly has showed everybody how he can play.
Mario Lassard, 27-year-old Los Angeles goaltender. We talked about how well he has performed. He's been selected a star of the game in 4 of the contests that the Kings have played. Snaps at center ice, shooting it into the Los Angeles zone, knocked down by Murphy. Murphy tried to play it up in the right side. Too far for Hallward, or for Treadway, I should say, and it slides out to center ice. Now bringing it in is Wells. He's upset, and Snaps goes back after it. Snaps up along the boards, kept in by Murphy. His drive hit Gradine. Gradine dumps it to center ice. Here's Smeel with a chance now. Smeel trying to go around Wells, and Bernie Nichols came back, knocked him off the puck. They bump in the corner. The puck's still loose in the Los Angeles zone. Gradine back at the net. He falls. The Canucks, Fraser comes up with it. He tried to center it. It was broken up by Los Angeles, and Murphy comes back. Murphy trying to feed it in front for Treadway, and it was knocked down by Eldebrink. Along the boards, but kept in by Los Angeles. Marcel Dion feeding it out front, and there was nobody there. Fraser picks it up off the boards, dumps it to center ice. Smeel couldn't control it, and it slides into the Los Angeles zone with 8:30 remaining in the first period. On the right side for Murphy. He shoots it into the Canucks zone. Along the boards, they jam away. It goes loose, a shot, a quick one by Evans, and Brodeur just got a toe on it. Kept in at the line, knocked out to center by Halinka. Halinka in across the line, working to the boards, circling, taking a shot off a body to the far side, picked up there by Korath. Korath clears to center ice. Evans deflects it into the Vancouver zone, but as Hallward goes back and touches it, icing is called against Los Angeles. With the score, Vancouver 1, Los Angeles nothing. This is Stanley Cup '82.
You know what? I've got a reason to switch to Bank of Montreal. I had a regular savings account, but I usually make my deposits somewhere in the middle of the month, so I couldn't earn interest on that money until the start of the next month. Then it was paid only twice a year. So I'm switching to a Bank of Montreal daily interest savings account. Earns me interest the day I make a deposit and every day after, and pays it to me every month. That's 12 times a year. You do have a reason to switch to Bank of Montreal's daily interest savings account.
The Islanders and the Rangers went into overtime last night. They are tied again this evening. St. Louis and Chicago also in a stalemate. Fired into the Vancouver zone. Murphy, but Murphy gets it, trying to feed it out front. And Evans was tied up neatly in front of the goal. Long drive and hit the side of the net by Rhoda. Korath for Los Angeles to Murphy. Murphy on the wing for Dion. Dion going in back of the goal. Tried to feed it out front. It deflected off the stick. Dion gets it again. Dion and Snaps fight for it. It goes loose. Here's a drive from the point by Evans, and that one was knocked down by Brodeur. In the corner, Halinka bumps with Dion. Dion comes up with the puck, a backhand shot, and that went off a skate. Hallward was upset, and a penalty coming up against Evans. Hockey Night in Canada will continue in a moment.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with the Coke you get at McDonald's. The problem is the cup. It's too small. For about the same price, 7-Eleven's Big Gulp gives you the freedom to enjoy a bigger Coke, 45% more. So which would you prefer, a soft drink at McDonald's, or for about the same price, a 7-Eleven Big Gulp?
The freedom of 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven's Big Gulp. Only 49 cents this month.
Evans, 2 minutes each for tripping.
Well, there's two penalties on the play. There's the play to Evans. While that was going on, Harold Schnips dumped the LA forward in front of the net. So both will go off at the same time. Tripping penalties with the call. Evans and Schnips as we look at Bernie Nichols into the face-off circle. Drop back to the line. Hardy winds up just wide. Smeel deflects it off the boards for Gradine. Gradine working against Hardy. Hardy takes him in against the boards. Gradine goes down. And Chartrand plays it off to Nichols. In across the LA line. His shot and a toe save by Brodeur. It comes loose in the Vancouver zone. Chartrand races over, manages to keep it in. Back of the goal, played by Brodeur.
Hardy races in from the point. Back at the net. Nichols bumping there with Belling. And finally it's cleared to the corner. In front of the net. Some bumping going on involving Brodeur. Dion is knocked down. And a penalty coming up. I should say Bozak knocked down. A penalty coming up against Vancouver. Live from the Forum in Inglewood, the Stanley Cup playoff.
The ultimate offer. As proof of the confidence Ford has in the quality of their cars, the great three-part offer is now extended to cover 10 car lines. You get 2 years scheduled maintenance. That gives you 2 years parts and labor at no extra cost. You'll also get a comprehensive 2-year warranty. So for 2 years, virtually all you pay for is gas. And to top it off, buy now and get a special 5% cash bonus up to $500. The ultimate offer is the closest thing to cost-free driving. Details at Ford and Mercury dealers.
Hallward for holding at 13:46.
Well, the Kings are doing a lot of buzzing. They're moving well offensively, and at time Hallward was hauled down. I don't know if he was really hauled down, but he gets the penalty.
Well, Steve Armitage is standing by down at ice level with another celebrity. Steve?
Don, you meet all kinds in Los Angeles. There's no question about that. This is Robbie Robicon. Robbie, are you enjoying the game?
Yes, indeed. Boy, we're getting up our steam right now.
If Mario Lessard gets injured, does that mean you go in?
Oh, I sure hope so. I'm going to be right there at the gate, ready to go out.
Okay, thanks a lot, Robbie Robicon. Back to Don Whitman.
Steve, there's no doubt about it. You're getting to talk to a lot of interesting people here at the Forum. 6:14 remaining in this first period. The Kings with the power play, 4 against 3. Korab, 40 on, over to Nichols. Nichols couldn't get a shot away. He was upset, and it's cleared down the ice. Good defensive work by the Vancouver Canucks.
This is the most dangerous time for a power play. It's a 4-on-3 situation. Korab very sloppy in his own zone, almost banked it in his own net off the skate of Lessard.
Across the line for Nichols. Nichols moving in, faked the shot, gets it again. Another shot saved by Brodeur. Picked up on the wing by Dion. Dion back to the line for Nichols, over to Korab. Korab working to the corner against Eldebrink. Now goes to Dion on the other side. Dion with a shot. It deflects off a stick. Picked up off the boards by Korab. Korab back to the point for Nichols. Nichols fakes the shot over to Korab. Korab moving in. Back for Nichols. Here's a drive. The double minor penalties to Evans and Snaps have ended, and as soon as they come back in the ice, and goaltender Brodeur makes the save, some shoving goes on in that Vancouver zone again. However, I don't think any penalties are upcoming. Everything seemed to be under control rather quickly as the linesmen, D'Amico and Bonnie, moved in.
Well, you saw the setup that the Canucks had trying to kill that penalty. It's a triangle they use with one man up, trying to stay between the two defensemen. Dion sets up the play to Nichols just prior to that in a good defensive play. Actually, Nichols never really got good wood on this shot to try to let a howitzer go at Brodeur.
Well, the Nordiques have even their series 7-2. They were winners tonight, and we'll have highlights during our first intermission. The Islanders leading the Rangers 4-3 in the third now, and Chicago ahead of St. Louis 5-4 in the third. 5:03 is the time left in the first period here at the Forum. 49 seconds remaining in the penalty to Doug Hallward. 1-0. The Canucks lead the Kings. Back to the line for Murphy. Into Taylor. Back to Murphy. Slap shot. It deflects off a skate. Zimmer tried to center it. He was tied up in back of the goal. Along the boards, Dion trying to play it back to the point. He's fighting for it with Smith. Dion still hanging on to it. Gets it back to the point. A drive by Evans. He broke the stick. He scored!
The LA Kings applying tremendous pressure. The shot. In fact, the stick broke. Dion was jolly on the spot, let a good wrist shot go just inside the pad and the goalpost. Let's have a look at the way Brodeur sets up. He's interfered with by Taylor, and that's what Brodeur was upset about. Right in the crease area, you'll see just before Dion shoots a puck, Taylor collides with him. Now, had Taylor been inside the crease, a penalty probably would have been called, but Brodeur had come out to challenge and was outside that crease area.
And of course, Brodeur, I think Gary was anticipating that drive by Evans. He broke a stick on it, and it just slid off a Canuck defenseman's stick. And Dion got the loose puck and fired it home. So it's tied at 1. Rhoda feeding it in front, just deflected wide, and the penalty coming up as Halinka was tied up in front of the LA goal. Smith, I believe, is getting the gate. This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from Los Angeles.
No matter what we tell you, we carry. Whenever we say Canadian Tire, you think we've got the biggest names in sporting goods. But when we say Canadian Tire, you think we've got a huge selection of brand name tools and hardware. But we say Canadian Tire, and so now, after seeing all this, when I say Canadian Tire, what do you think? Now you got it.
There's a lot more to Canadian Tire than tires.
Now Doug Smith, the pride from Ottawa, played his junior hockey there, only 18 years old. Watch Halinka right in front of the net, trying for that deflection, and Smith takes him out of the play, but is called on the hooking, so the Canucks will get their second power play opportunity. You know, as Halinka is out there on the face-off, Harry Neal had said that he is the best at face-offs, going either to the right or to the left. He handles each way very effectively. Of course, he got the draw for the winning goal in last night's game.
Headed back to the point to Colin Campbell, and he scored the winner in overtime. Campbell not dressed tonight. Back for Hallward. Hallward, good move. Working in to Halinka. Back to the line. Over now to Moline. His shot deflects wide of the LA goal, picked up by Chartrand, and he, in attempting to clear it, put it over the boards and out of play.
Well, Darcy Rhoda, after we had talked to him in the dressing room last night, his face was red with cuts and bruises, and he had a big smile on his face and said, it's worth it. To win, you have to make a sacrifice, and by golly, we won that game, and everybody felt great about it.
Gary, you know, we talked about Colin Campbell being out of the lineup tonight. For the Vancouver Canucks, Rick Lance, Kevin McCarthy, Yuri Bubla, Colin Campbell. 4 regulars missing from the blue line. What a job the other defensemen have done. Harold Snepps, Lindgren, and those called up from the minors.
Let's remember that Lindgren
is dressed but hasn't seen any action.
He's got that bad shoulder, so he'll probably only be used when absolutely necessary.
Chartrand plays it off the boards and all the way down the ice. 1:30 left in the penalty to Doug Smith. Now the Canucks, led by Halinka, in across the line, working to the corner for Rhoda. Rhoda lost it to Hardy. Almost got it back again. It comes to Halinka, to the line. Lars Moline with a drive. It's deflected. Halinka is hurt. Pardon me, not Halinka.
Rhoda.
It is Rhoda who is down.
That was the shot from the point that hit Rhoda in the helmet. Let's watch it again. You see the shot from the point, and as Rhoda's knocked down, the puck will hit him right on the helmet. And that's the reason that players wear helmets. That's always dangerous when it's bad enough when you're looking at the play, but when you get knocked down, you lose your balance. So Rhoda was very fortunate young man. But he is heading for the dressing room for repairs.
And right now, let's join Steve Armitage.
Don, you're looking at Gary Lupul, who had his bell rung earlier in the period. A little woozy, may or may not be back, it depends. Coming up during our first period intermission tonight, I'll be talking to the Kings' Mark Hardy. We'll have a playoff recap from last night and tonight with J. Paul McCollum.
The face-off outside the Los Angeles line. Hallward over on the wing, fired in by Gradine. And it's cleared to center.
by Los Angeles. Hallward goes back into his own zone, being watched by Nichols. To Gradine. Gradine pass into the center ice area. Fraser fires it in. Ricochets off the glass in back of the goal. Stopped there by Lassard. Kept in by Fraser. Fraser in the corner. Picks it up again. Fraser playing it back to the line for Gradine. His shot went off the stick and is cleared down the ice. 30 seconds remaining in the penalty. Hallward for Vancouver. Across the line. Hallward still with it, trying to move out into the slot. Ran into a check from Bonner, and Simmer comes back for the Kings. Simmer plays it into the Vancouver zone, picked up by Bonner. Bonner going back to the net, taken out of the play, and Vancouver brings it back. Hallward for the Canucks. Across the line, drop pass, picked off by Bonner, and Bonner comes back as Smith steps onto the ice. Bonner over on the wing for Simmer. Simmer with a weak shot. He really couldn't control it. At the side of the net, he gets it again. Simmer with another drive, and Brodeur just got a piece of it. Now they fight for it in the corner. It comes to the line and finally is cleared. Bolderad bringing it out to center ice. He's taken in against the boards by Simmer, and the Los Angeles Kings dump it in. Penalty coming up against the Vancouver Canucks as Taylor was tied up along the boards by Tiger Williams, and Williams is going to get the penalty, and he's not at all happy with the call by referee Wally Harris, elbowing against Tiger Williams.
Now, the way the Kings are playing on the power play, it's the last thing you want to do is get a penalty, especially in that zone. Again, we talk between the two blue lines, but that's what Williams has been doing to Dave Taylor the whole series. Elbow sticks, boarding, everything. Simmer, a good opportunity. Brodeur just able to knock that one into the corner, but Kings applying tremendous pressure, just the way they did last night. 12 shots to 4 in favor of LA at this point in the first period with 1:56 to go.
What a record Roger Nielsen has compiled since taking over from Harry Neal behind that Vancouver bench. His only loss since becoming coach of the Canucks, that overtime decision in Vancouver. Marcel Dion with the first goal of the game for the Kings, and with 1:56 remaining in the period, Los Angeles has the man advantage again and the chance to go ahead in this hockey game. Murphy back at the line, playing it into the corner. It goes off the leg, kept in at the point by Murphy. Rink-wide pass for Bozak. Bozak having trouble with Moline, gets it back to Evans, fakes the shot to Bozak. Bozak unable to control it in front. Dion comes in, races back to the blue line. He's all over the ice, feeding it in front, a deflection, it's loose, and Brodeur was just able to clear it.
Boy, he has done it all, hasn't he? In fact, I asked Harry Neal, how long can Brodeur keep doing this? Harry Neal said, I hope for another 5 weeks.
13-4, the Kings have the edge in shots on goal. Murphy in across the line. He's pinned in against the boards by Bellin. The puck loose, and it's cleared by Vancouver.
The Canucks are running out of bodies right now with Lupul trying to shake off that hit early in the first period. And Rhoda has gone to the dressing room for minor repairs.
Evans, as we move into the final minute, across the line. His shot hit a leg. They get it again. Another shot knocked down in front of the goal. The Kings still in possession. Marcel Dion feeding it over for Evans. Back to Dion, and it went off a stick. And is finally cleared by Gradine. Now it's Murphy with 36 seconds remaining in the period. Playing it in across the line, and it's dumped out by Vancouver.
That last play by Snaps, that gives you an idea how important it is to challenge at that blue line.
Snaps moving up to the Los Angeles blue line, poking it in. However, Vancouver was offside.
You know, anytime or a good way to stop a rush, if that defenseman is in a good position and you have your wingers coming back, just step right into them. Well, we have a few words again, which has been typical, right in front of the LA players box. But that is quieted down in a hurry.
Nothing really serious in this hockey game. A lot of gesturing. Same situation existed last night during the first period. 24 seconds left. The score tied at 1.
And
28 seconds left in the penalty. Sorry, Gary, to Dave Williams.
Very fortunate that the Canucks are tied at 1. The big guy again, number 35, Brodeur, time and time again. He has made that big save.
Fired into the Los Angeles zone. Hardy goes back to his own goal. Head for Kelly. Back to Hardy. This will be the last rush of the period. Hardy in across the line. A shot, and it's knocked down in front by Hallward. He drops in front of it. And Gradine with a long drive as the period ends. And again, as they did last night, the Los Angeles Kings dominating the first period of the game.
Well, again, it's Brodeur, and it's making the big saves, but this is probably the worst period that Vancouver's played in this series. They had 8 or 9 giveaways in their own zone, and I'm sure that they'll talk about that prior to the second period. And if they can correct that, they'll be all right.
The score at the end of the first period, Vancouver 1, Los Angeles 1.
Harvey Lazybones, a mellow fellow, loved to relax on a soft, plump pillow, watching all his favorite shows, twiddling thumbs and wiggling toes. Harvey just loved doing nothing at all, and that's why he turned into a big, fat ball. That's the way the body goes, a big, fat ball with thumbs and toes. A trip to the fridge is quite enough to make you pant and huff and puff. Then there's all the wear and tear of getting back into your easy chair. But here's good news. Participaction says it's time you got back into action. Time to give yourself a chance. Go for a stroll, dance a little dance, paddle a boat or pedal a bike, walk up some stairs or go on a hike, do push-ups and sit-ups, chop some wood, deal with a wheel. They'll all do you good. So welcome back into shape. The mirror's your witness. You look and feel really great when you're into fitness.
We want this paint job to keep that fresh painted look. So this time we're using Moore Glow. Our Benjamin Moore dealer said it's Moore's newest house paint. A high-quality latex paint that gives you a beautiful soft gloss finish. And Moore Glow is specially made to resist fading. So even after years of weathering, your house will keep its fresh painted look. Try Moore Glow.
It's the answer to a painter's dream.
Your Benjamin Moore dealer really knows paint.
The 1982 Lawn Boy Supreme, designed to last up to 50% longer than most other mower engines. An incredible 5-in-1 mower. Watch number 1 turn his lawn boy into a leaf shredder. Number 2, a rear bagger. Number 3 is going to mulch his grass. Number 4 will use his lawn boy as a side bagger. And number 5 will use his with no attachments at all. Lawn Boy, the 5-in-1 mower that keeps on going. As time goes by, you'll know why.
Ivan Boldarev has scored for the Vancouver Canucks, and for the Kings, it was Marcel Dion with his 7th goal of the playoffs. We're tied at 1 after 1 period here in Game 4 in Los Angeles. Consistency is what coaches strive for in the playoffs, and consistency is basically what describes my guest right now. He's Mark Hardy, a fine young defenseman with the Los Angeles Kings. Mark, a quick comment on the period.
Oh, it's tough. It's up and down. There's a lot of hitting. Both teams are really playing it tight. It's hard to get shots on net, and I think a lot of the guys are starting to get frustrated. We just keep going up and down and hitting, and it's just real grinding hockey.
You must be wondering what you have to do to beat Richard Brodeur.
Oh, both goalies are playing unbelievable. It's a real goalies duel. You got to give them all the credit in the world. They're just stopping shots that are not supposed to be stopped during the regular season, and it's just unbelievable.
Mark, was there a change in strategy on the part of the Kings going into Game 4?
No, we're just playing, well, we're playing the same way they're playing. I think it's just up and down hockey. We're trying to shoot as much as we can, hoping that maybe we'll get a goal on Brodeur, but he's so hot right now. We just got to keep shooting and hope for the best.
Mark, it was a very warm day here in Los Angeles today, and has it affected the heat in the building and the play of the ice, which is normally not very good anyway? Is it slushier than normal?
Oh, yeah, definitely. The ice in Vancouver is nice and smooth. It's nice to skate on here. It's very choppy. Plus the weather outside, I think it was about 80 degrees today, and it's really affecting inside.
Mark, you've been with the club 3 years now, and I think this is probably the the fans have ever responded to a Los Angeles Kings team. It's got to give you a lift.
Oh, it's great hearing those fans out there. I've never heard anything like it. They're just totally behind us. And hopefully we'll come out with a win and make them happy.
Okay, what have you got to do to win this game and tie the series at 2?
We got to beat Brodeur. You know, that's a tough job to do. We're trying and trying and trying, but I think we got to just try and get a couple of goals behind him if we can, and hope for the best.
Well, it's been the young defensemen of both clubs that have really carried the teams this far.
Well, we got the young legs maybe, and trying to make up for the old guys, but the older guys are going like crazy too, so we're all trying to go, and well, hopefully we'll do it.
Mark, thank you very much for talking to us. My guest has been Mark Hardy, defenseman with the Los Angeles Kings. Coming up next, we'll have a playoff recap. Hockey Night in Canada returns in just a moment.
This is Dick Irvin reporting on the Boston Bruin Quebec Nordiques series. It now stands at 2-1 in games for the Bruins after the Nordiques scored a dramatic overtime victory on home ice in Game 3. Mickey Redmond is in the broadcast booth. He was a gunner when he played in the NHL, but Mick, I always have sympathy for the goaltenders in a case like that. There were 16 shots on goal in 11 minutes and 44 seconds of overtime. Garrett and Moffat were terrific.
They really were, Dick. Both goaltenders played super in the regulation and in the overtime. You've got to feel sorry for the goaltender, not as well as the hockey club that loses, but in Moffat's case, he just played a great game and made some super stops in overtime, as did Garrett, and boy, does he deserve a pat in the back for coming in there. And didn't know he was going to play, but we're going to get a chance to look at a couple of the saves that were made by each goaltender. Earlier up on Keith Crowder, he had a couple of whacks at it, and Johnny stood tall and kept it out of there to keep that game still in overtime. And then the Nordiques, just moments before they did end it, came down with the Stastnys doing their European thing and in and out, and what a super chance by Marion Stastny. Watch the right pad of Moffat. He moves it to the right. That could have ended the hockey game, but for a youngster in there under fire, he really stood tall in the Boston net. But, you know, on the Quebec goal, Paymont just made a super shot. He made a great move to start with on Ray Bourque, gave him the fake outside, took it inside. Bourque not playing the body, and look at the shot. Right on the ice, stick side, and you couldn't have asked for a more perfect placement for a winning shot.
So the Quebec Nordiques win it. In overtime, the series now stands 2-1 for the Bruins. Dick Irvin with Mickey Redmond reporting on the Boston-Quebec Adams Division Final.
The third overtime game last night occurred at Madison Square Garden in New York. The Islanders, with the line of Trottier, Bossy, and Bourne doing all the scoring, beat the Rangers 4-3 for a 2-1 lead in that series. The Islanders opened the scoring at the 12-12 mark of the first period. Bob Bourne ties up two Rangers and the puck along the boards. When it comes free, it's Mike Bossy who has it, and he puts it off the arm of Ed Mio into the net. 1-0 in favor of the Islanders. Robbie Ftorek has been the scoring star of the playoffs for the Rangers. That's his sixth. It ties the game from Don Maloney. In the second period, the Islanders are on a power play. Bourne to McEwen, and McEwen holds it for a while and then gives it back to Bob Bourne, who has plenty of time to let go this shot for his first playoff goal. The Islanders take a 2-1 lead into the third period, but it doesn't last long. Mike Rogers hits Reijo Ruotsalainen on the fly. And at the 19-second mark of the third period, the game is tied at 2. And then Mike Allison steals the puck from Mike McEwen, beats Dave Langevin, and then beats Billy Smith. And the Rangers are in front 3-2. Their lead lasts approximately 5 minutes before the big line gets going again for the Islanders. Trottier wins another face-off. Just like the first goal of the game, Bourne, good work along the boards. Dave Langevin will shoot from the point, and Bob Bourne is there to put the rebound into an empty net and force overtime. And in the extra period, another face-off is won by Trottier. Ken Morrow's shot from the point. Trottier just wants to get the puck near the net. He puts it into the net. And the Islanders win 4-3. In Chicago, the first 3 minutes of the game were nightmarish for St. Louis goalie Mike Liut. He allowed goals by Bob Murray, Tom Lysiak, and that one by Tim Higgins. And that was enough for Emil Francis. Liut came out and Glenn Hanlon went in. The Blues got one goal back, Wayne Babbage, in the first period. In the second period, the Hawks are killing a penalty, and Rick Patterson scores from Dave Feimster. Dennis Savard scores again for Chicago. Now the Blues start a comeback. Joe Mullen, who is the leading playoff point getter, fired his 6th goal of the playoffs. Billy Gardner added to the Chicago lead once more, his first playoff goal, and now the Blues come back with Joe Mullen's second of the night, seventh of the playoffs. A goal is scored here by Brian Sutter with less than 3 minutes to play. It's a 2-goal lead, but with only 3 seconds left, Mike Zook scores, and the 1-goal lead holds up for Chicago's 6-5 win.
Coming up next, we'll have highlights from Quebec's devastating win over the Boston Bruins tonight. We'll return with the Stanley Cup playoffs in just a moment.
As far as quality goes, I have to build them, and so my best friend's going to buy them, and you really have to build them.
There's a new spirit at Ford, and we're proud of it. Quality is more than a priority. Quality is job one.
When it comes to quality, it's up to each individual guy in the line to do his job.
In my area, everyone is concerned about quality, and I'm proud of them.
See what we've done. And Ford quality is job one. Spend a little time with Sanyo, and you'll have the time of your life. It's a big sound that goes a long way. That's never missing your favorite play. It's a meal prepared while you're away. It's enjoying sports in a big way. Spend a little time with Sanyo. Spend a little time of your life. 'Cause Sanyo makes life's good things better.
You don't have to put up with hotel excuses like the maid, the TV man, or the plumber is gone for the day, because Holiday Inn gives you this no excuses guarantee in writing. Everything in your room will be right, or we'll make it right. No excuses, or that night you stay free. Now, what other hotel chain gives you that guarantee? So let us take care of you. Holiday Inn gives you a guarantee, not excuses.
After one period of play here in Game 4 in Los Angeles tonight, it's a 1-all tie, Canucks and Kings. Well, one of the big stories in Stanley Cup 82 Game 4 tonight had to be Les Nordiques' performance in the Colisée against the Boston Bruins. We've got a report.
The game was all Quebec as they turned their series into a best-of-3. The magic of the Stasneys putting them first on the board. Marion bounces the shot in after their precision tic-tac-toe passing. 34 seconds later, the Nordiques storm the Bruins net again, this time on a 4-on-2 break. Wilf Paymont goes down the right wing for the shot from a near impossible angle, and it's 2-0 Quebec. Down at the other end, John Garrett in goal, playing where he normally wouldn't. Dan Bouchard battling the effects of food poisoning over the weekend. He left Garrett the job of battling the Bruins, and that he did. It was 2-0 after one, then 3-0 here in the second as the Nordiques threatened to blast the Bruins right out of the building. Cloutier booms the big shot into the top of the net. The Nordiques go ahead by 3. And with the Quebec crowd having a heck of a good time, the Nordiques keep it going. This time, they bounce a pass across the front of the Boston net, off Brad Park's skate to Michel Goulet. He makes it 4-0. Then it's 5. Brad Park's bad pass in the Quebec zone, picked off by Michel Goulet. He makes the long race to the other end of the ice. Moffat makes the save on his shot, only to have Ray Bourque knock the puck into his own goal on a night that is anything but Boston's. At the end of 2, 6-1 Nordique, and even with the Bruins bringing Rogie Vachon in, the Quebec charge continued for one period more. Here are the Stasneys again. Anton banks in the 7-1 goal off Boston defenseman Mike O'Connell. And to finish off the long night, Boston finally has a bounce go their way. They outshoot the Nordique 13-3 in the final frame. Peterson passes to Middleton for a shot off the post that Tom Fergus finishes off. Not that it matters. Quebec wins 7-2. That series now a best-of-3.
Checking the playoff scoreboard for you right now. There you see that final from the Colisée tonight. Les Nordiques over the Boston Bruins 7-2. That evens that series at 2 games apiece. The Islanders defeating the Rangers 5-3. That gives the Islanders a 3-1 series there. And the last report on the St. Louis-Chicago series, we had the Blackhawks in front of the Blues by a score of 6-4. Right now, let's join Don Whitman and Gary Dornhofer.
And here at the Forum, 1-1 the score. The Kings and the Canucks. Boldarev at 8:08, unassisted. And then Marcel Dion tying it, his 7th goal of the playoffs from Evans and Taylor. But the story, Brodeur again in goal for the Canucks as he made 13 saves. Mario Lessard was called upon 5 times in the Los Angeles goal.
Well, the Canucks keep track of a lot of different statistics, and the big one there had to be the giveaways. The Canucks were guilty of 14 giveaways, and so you would have to say they were very fortunate to get away that first period at 1. As far as hits were concerned or contact, 13 by the hockey club. Smeel led the way with 4. Face-offs, the Canucks won 8 and lost 8, so they were batting at .500 in that department. And last game, the coaching staff were very thrilled with the face-offs. They won 58% of them, with Lupul and Holinka just having a field day, because Harry Neal and Roger Nielsen were saying that Canucks are not a strong face-off club, so to get 58%, you had a lot of concentration in doing your job very effectively.
And Gary, the way things have been going for Vancouver, you really wonder if they're going to have enough bodies to finish this series. They lost Colin Campbell. Gary Lupul suffered a slight concussion when he was decked by Chartrand. And Darcy Rhoda hit on the head with that drive from the point. He was cut. However, we understand he will be back. So this series, the physical pounding certainly taking its toll on the Vancouver Canucks. The Los Angeles Kings haven't really had any serious injury problems. Jim Fox was hurt last evening. He did not rest tonight, but he will be back for Game 5. It's almost certain. Brodeur in goal for the Canucks has been brilliant again tonight.
Well, let's just have a look at some of the action, especially when the Kings are on the power play. There's Nichols. He led the way with shots on net with 5. But Brodeur, time and time again, gets in the way of that puck. Again, the youngster Nichols with the slap shot, and Brodeur with the kick save. In all my years of hockey, which has not been as many as you, of course, Don, but I have never seen goaltending like that since Bernie Perrant when he won a couple Stanley Cups for us. This guy is magnificent.
Well, as they say, you need a hot goaltender, particularly at playoff time. I don't think you can overemphasize the importance of the man between the pipes and his contribution. It gives the players such a lift when he comes up with those big saves, and he did it time and again last night in the first period. He did the same thing in the first period tonight.
There's the coaching staff of the Vancouver Canucks. Roger Nielsen very quiet before tonight's contest. Had to be very pleased winning the game last night. You know, the tendency is when you win a game, just relax slightly because you wanted to split in the opposing team zone. He said, this isn't going to be the case with us. We want to win that second one as well and try to finish it off at home.
The Canucks starting the second period shorthanded, but now Tiger Williams is out of the penalty box. Here's Nichols cutting in, and it's cleared in front of the goal. Centering pass knocked down by Smeel, looking for Williams. It was behind him. It slides into the Los Angeles zone. Puck loose in the corner. Williams trying to kick it free. He's taken in against the boards by Korath. And finally they hold it against the boards for a faceoff.
All right, guys, all right.
Harry Neal is sitting directly behind us, making notes, and he'll go to the dressing room after each period. They talk to Roger Nielsen, Ron Smith, but this is the second game now that he's back. He said he will not go behind the bench. Roger doing a good job. Why disrupt things? But I'll give him all the help I can.
Snep's in there, jawing away with Korab. It was Korab who pinned Williams against the boards, and Williams and Nichols are now exchanging words.
Yeah, and this has been such a physical series with a lot of hits. And the referees have let both teams do all the hitting they want. They haven't called yet. I haven't seen a charging or a boarding call yet, and which is really good. Now, I wonder if this would have been during the regular season, how many penalties would have been called.
There may have been a few more whistled down during the course of the regular season, something I've never really understood, however. My interpretation of the rule book, a penalty is a penalty, regardless of when it occurs in the game, and you and I have disagreed on that in the past, however.
They score from the face-off, the Vancouver Canucks. That's the second face-off now that the Canucks got, and has resulted in the goal. The overtime last night, and this time Gradine. Fantastic. Boy, the concentration that has to go into the face-offs, but you see Fraser rifles it all in one motion, and again the Canucks have taken the lead.
His first goal, third point.
That goal coming at 32 seconds of the second period. The Canucks in front 2-1 as Korab plays it up along the boards for Treadway. Knocked down by Snep. Snep lost it to Nichols. Nichols racing in. Brodeur out of the net. Played up along the boards, kept in by Lewis. Loose puck in the Vancouver zone. Kelly with a weak shot that slides to the corner. Bellin along the boards for Smeal, unable to get it out against Treadway. And finally it's brought out to center ice by the Canucks. Smeal with the drive, it hit the post. Smeal cutting in, let a drive go, that whistled off the post, up front for Fraser. He jams away, and Lazard makes the save. Now it's Nichols. At the line, he has it poked away by Snep, gets it back again, centers it, nobody there, and Smeal starts back. Smeal drops it to the line for Bellin. Ahead for Fraser, it slides all the way to the goal mouth, and Chartrand brings it back out for Los Angeles on the wing for Dion. Dion over on the right side for Murphy. Backhand shot, it goes wide. Dion gets it again. To the line, Chartrand. Flat shot, it hit a leg. It went off Rhoda to center ice, and Rhoda is limping after that one. This has been a rough one for Rhoda, first on the head, and then taking that drive on the leg.
Has it ever, but Rhoda had the right idea. You know, you don't want to get out of the way. You go directly at the defenseman that's shooting the puck, and if it hits you in the shin pad in the right direction, you're liable to get a breakaway. But Rhoda got it right on the ankle or toe area, and he was hobbling around. There's the key guy right now. He is skating. Marcel Dion. Have to start knocking him around a little bit and slow him down.
Dion keeps it in at the line. Over for Murphy. Flat shot, glove save by Brodeur. Another great save by Richard Brodeur.
Well, what can you say about the man that we haven't already said? We're running out of superlatives, but again, Brodeur with that quickness, that glove hand of his. But Dion made a marvelous play inside the blue line, that spin around, and fed Murphy, who let that shot go. But oh, look at the position. He's out there. He's not hiding in the crease area. That's what makes Brodeur so effective.
Now the Canucks bring it out. Halinka feeding it for Moline, his drive, and Lazard came out to challenge. Long lead pass, too far for Evans. Aldebrink races back after it. Leaves it there for Hallward, who clears the center. Now it's Moline. Losing it in the center ice area, picked up by Chartrand. Deflected in by Murphy. Brodeur makes the save. On the board, Halinka tries to poke it away. It goes loose to Rhoda. Rhoda in across the line for Halinka. Halinka couldn't control it as it slid to the goal mouth. A drive from a sharp angle by Moline, and that went up over the shoulder of Lazard and ricocheted off the boards back into the Vancouver zone. Dumped into the center ice area. Hardy playing it off the boards, has it picked off by Bolderev. Bolderev trying to work in for the Canucks. He just missed the far corner. Back to the line to Bellin. He takes a shot. It's deflected wide. Williams tied up along the boards, and it's brought back out by Smith. On the left side for Hardy. He shoots it in. Bozak pinned in against the boards by Snap. He's unable to clear. Murphy races in from the point. They jam away in the corner. Finally, it's picked up by Smith. A shot goes wide. Wells plays it to the other side along the board. Hopkins trying to poke it free. Gets it to Bozak. Bozak to Murphy. His shot is wide. Now Snap dumps it to center. 16 minutes remaining in the second period. 2-1. The Canucks lead the Kings. It appeared as though Murphy was clipped by an errant stick along the boards. Play continues. Wells in his own zone. Up along the boards now for Hopkins. Knocked down at the line by Fraser, but the Canucks were offside.
You see, Coach Don Perry, he's very upset about that. Murphy got the stick in the face.
From the Forum in Inglewood, this is Stanley Cup 82 on CBC.
Then the Pac-Man heads for the corner spots, then he eats his fill of a power pill. And then all those ghosts turn blue, boo, and Pac-Man eats them all too.
Only Atari makes the Pac-Man home video game, and you can only play it on an Atari video game system.
15:41 the time left in this second period. I believe it was Tiger Williams, Gary, that
who else? Well, this line here, Verdine, Fraser, and Smeal, again, as they did last night, really giving the Canucks a shot in the arm.
Korab in his own zone for Treadway. He's taken out of the play. The puck slides into the Vancouver zone. Treadway trying to pick it up in the corner. Couldn't control it. Aldebrink up along the boards for Smeal. He's trying to get it out. Aldebrink comes over to help out, and he comes up with the puck. Lead pass, and very nearly a breakaway. Gradine almost stole it again and centered it, but it was intercepted by the King. Kelly with a long drive, gloved by Brodeur, and played off the boards and down the ice by Vancouver, which will produce an icing call as Korab goes back to touch it.
Well, down this afternoon, I had an opportunity of skating on this ice. I know what the players were going through. It was tough to motor, but I had to laugh. They had about 3 workers. They were going along the boards with a sledgehammer, trying to straighten the boards out so you don't get those weird bounces. So there is some preparation to get everything intact prior to game time.
Brodeur has been the difference again as far as the Canucks are concerned. 15 shots he has stopped. The Canucks in front 2-1. Vancouver coach Harry Neal forced to do some juggling with the injuries. Colin Campbell out. Lupul shaken up. Suffering a slight concussion. He is on the bench, but whether or not he will see any more action remains to be seen. A chance for Los Angeles as Bozak was attempting to cut in. Now in the center ice area. Nil was upset. He slid in across the line, and Moline, trying to follow up on the play, brought it in offside, and Nil is upset. He went over to talk with referee Wally Harris. Kurt Fraser, the man who put the Canucks in front with that goal 32 seconds into this second period.
Well, the Kings again forcing the issue, and you see the position of Brodeur. Taylor was trying to go to that short side, and Brodeur stayed right there with him to knock it in the corner.
Chartrand into the center ice area. Canucks with Boldurev firing it in. Chartrand goes back of his own goal. Up along the wing for Taylor to center ice. DeLorme for Vancouver. He shoots it back in. The play is whistled down. Now we have Taylor and DeLorme exchanging words, but nothing further develops. Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from Los Angeles.
Me and Eloise couldn't get...
The Blackhawks have taken a 3-1 lead in games in their series, with St. Louis winning tonight 7-4. Howard in his own zone, up along the board. loose. Sharp draw for Hardy. He shoots it in. Here's stopping it back to the net. Good check there as Leon has been all over the ice. Now it's Bolderev on the left side. Williams with a drive. He scores!
What a shot. Watch Williams go now. Oh, I don't think the fans are going to appreciate that little bit of hot dogging. But that shot done against Mario Lassard beat him on the short side after a good feed by Bolderev. Look at the short side just inside the post, and that's exactly the same spot that Colin Campbell got his overtime goal. From the top of the circle, and you put it in that corner there, you deserve it.
So it's 3-1 for the Canucks.
Don, I like the play that Bolderev made. He just froze the defense for a second. Williams was in full flight and hit him with that perfect pass.
Bolderev and Delorme drawing assists on that goal by Tiger Williams. The Tigers' third goal of the playoffs. Treadway across the line. Finding it in front. It's cleared by Brodeur. Kept in at the point by Wells. Now Fraser plays it around the boards to the other side, and again it's dumped out by Vancouver. It appears, Gary, as though the Canucks aren't going to take any chances in their own zone. Dump it out as soon as they get into any trouble. Now Murphy across the line. Murphy trying to set something up. For Treadway in the corner, he couldn't control it. Kelly gets it, beating it outside the Murphy is saved by Brodeur, and he grabs the rebound. Again, Brodeur comes up with a big one.
Well, the last thing you want to do is give a goal away. If a team is going to get one, make them earn it. Well, this time the pressure is there. Murphy from his defensive position, he is so dangerous doing that at every opportunity. When he sees the forward behind the net, he'll streak into that slot area, and he gets two whacks at it. But Brodeur, again, to save. You know, Brodeur, fundamentally, very sound goaltender. He plays his angles well. If you're going to beat him on a shot, you have to put it in a certain spot. He doesn't beat himself by flopping all over the ice. You know, as we look at Mario Lassard at the other end, at times he's looked very shaky. Tonight on that goal by Williams, probably should have had that one. And last night on the winning goal, exactly the same spot from the blue line. He has a screen on the play.
Wells with the drive. It hit Nil and is dumped out by Bellin. And the play whistled down as Nil touched it, and it had crossed two lines. Offside call against Vancouver.
This is the first time in the series that a team has had more than a one-goal lead, and it'll be interesting to see how the Canucks handle that. Will they sit back and just try to play defensive hockey, or go right after the Kings? And I would tend to go with the latter statement, that you go after LA. Don't sit back and let the Kings come at you.
Snaps off Gradin into the Los Angeles zone. Gradin is dumped, and a penalty is coming up against Los Angeles. Gradin was upset as he deflected that pass into the Los Angeles zone, and the penalty has been whistled by Wally Harris. This is Hockey Night in Canada from the Forum in Inglewood.
To number 5.
Kicking call at 7:21. The Canucks in front 3-1 on the power play now. Too far for Gradin on the wing. It's dumped back into the Vancouver zone. Aldebrink behind his own goal. Head for Rhoda. Over on the right side, Gradin shooting it in. Mike Murphy trying to pick it up off the board. Korath also comes in along with Rhoda. It goes to the other side for Lewis, and Lewis clears it. Aldebrink being chased by Mike Murphy. Now the Canucks come back. In across the line, pass for Rhoda. Rhoda waiting, shooting, scoring! What a move by Rhoda as he waited and waited. And Lassard came way out, and he went around him and picked the far side.
Did that hit the net, the corner of the net, or did it go off the skate of Dave Lewis? But Rhoda made the good play, but it was set up by Smeal on the drop pass. Now let's watch Rhoda. Now see if you can pick up Lewis. Watch for Lewis coming in. I think it went directly into the net. I thought for a moment that Lewis may have knocked it on his own net. Now that's really picking the corner. He almost ran out of room, but a big goal for Darcy Rhoda on the power play gives the Canucks a 4-1 lead.
And Lessard is going to the bench. Rick Hines coming in. I had it right the first time. Doug Keene's coming in. Rick Hines, the backup for the Vancouver Canucks. Doug Keene's coming in to play goal now for the Los Angeles Kings. And the Los Angeles Kings warm up their new goaltender as Lessard has gone to the bench. With the score, Vancouver 4, Los Angeles 1. This is Stanley Cup 82.
Made the move to the outside. There was a collision with Korab and Lessard, and you saw the puck just inside the post, and I tell you, Rhoda couldn't have had more than 2 or 3 inches to put that puck in that area. At first I had thought that Captain Dave Lewis had knocked it in on his own net, but the replay definitely showed it went in.
Well, Doug Keenes, who was the second choice of the Kings in the 1978 amateur draft, will replace Mario Lessard in goal with 11:58 remaining in the second period.
Don, what Don Perry has done on several occasions is take Lessard out, put in the backup goaltender for perhaps a shift, and then put Lessard back in again. So we'll look and see if that is the strategy, because you really couldn't fault the way Lessard has played tonight, other than the Tiger Williams goal. Perhaps should have had that one, but that last one was quite a shot by Rhoda, and also the collision involving Korab and Mario Lessard. There he is with the towel around his neck, very dejected. It looks like he will not return.
4-1, the Canucks lead. 11:58 remaining in the second period. Hardy playing it into the Vancouver zone, knocked down by Bellin, dumped out, brought back in by Los Angeles offside.
Well, the fans are very familiar with the comeback ways of the LA Kings. Remember, the Oilers had a 5-0 lead, and they were able to win the game. But the way the Canucks check and play defense, I wonder. Inclined to think that Vancouver might be able to hang on to that lead.
Fired in by the Kings. Once again, the play whistled down on the offside infraction. I think the Kings may be getting just a little frustrated now as they come out to that bench. They have been unable to solve the goaltending of Brodeur.
Not only
has been spectacular.
Right, not only that, Don, though, but when you've got the bad ice and the conditions are very slow, the puck bounces all over the place. When you're 3 goals behind, that makes it difficult to mount any kind of a comeback.
Hopkins in across the line with Bozak, and again the Kings are offside. 3 offside calls in a row against Los Angeles.
And what's going to happen is the fans will start to get a little testy here and get on the Kings a little bit, and you know what that'll do to a player's confidence.
4-1, the Canucks in front. Although they have been outshot 17-10, they have come up with 3 goals in this second period. Halenka circling in his own zone. Playing it up along the boards. Pass intercepted by Los Angeles. Snepp steals it away. Snaps to Halenka. Halenka with Moline trying to feed it in front, and it's cleared to the board. Now it's Mike Murphy in his own zone, having difficulties there with Fraser. Halenka also comes in along the boards. They bump Chartry, and then here's the drive, a quick one as Moline, following up on the play, picked up the loose puck. Evans back for Los Angeles, right side, Murphy.
knuckleball. It looked like Brodeur had it, and right underneath the blocker. Again, the shot to the far side, and the Kings have crept to within 2. So the veteran, Mike Murphy, gets the Kings rolling.
And the fans have suddenly come alive again at the Forum, a capacity crowd, the 4th straight sellout in Los Angeles.
Now the key is for the Canucks just to keep their composure, keep their cool, don't start running around, and just settle things down again.
Well, they conducted the face-off. The strangest thing, Molina, here's a drive that just goes wide. Picked up along the boards and cleared to center ice. Now the Kings have it again. Dion at the line. He's upset. Brought back up by Moline. He's got Brodin with him. Moline is dumped by Wells at the blue line. A lead pass too far for Murphy. Murphy racing in against Hallward. Plays it to the other side to Dion. Dion out front. Larry Murphy couldn't get a shot away. And penalties coming up against the Vancouver Canucks. Hockey Night in Canada will continue in a moment.
Waiter. Waiter. Who is he? Textiles? Huh? Super Lotto. Shipbuilding.
Super Lotto.
Someday, your ship may come in.
To number 10, Anders Elderbrink. 2 minutes for holding.
Well, Elderbrink will get the penalty against Dion.
A 10-minute misconduct.
Tiger Williams draws a 10-minute misconduct. Mike Murphy also gets a 10-minute misconduct. Gary on the face-off following the goal. The strangest thing, the puck was dropped while Lars Moline had his stick and his gloves down on the ice, and he was retying his skates. And he very quickly had to scramble and pick up his gloves and his stick and get back into the play.
Well, he can be called for a delay of game penalty for doing that. It's a wonder that the referees allowed that to him to get away with that. But also, as a center iceman, you have to check to see what's happening out there before you go into a face-off situation.
Back to the line to Evans, over to Larry Murphy. For Taylor. Taylor in at the side of the net to Simmer. Back to the line to Murphy. Over to Evans. Trying to feed it in front. And it's knocked down to the line. Nill tried to get it out of there, but Murphy flipped it in and went over the boards and out of play.
Now this is a very big power play for the LA Kings. They can close within 1, and I think the Vancouver Canucks also realize the importance of shutting the Kings down during this power play opportunity. Like getting a little more life into your attack by scoring 2 straight goals. And that's exactly what Marcel Dion and company are thinking at this present time.
Picked up by Dion. Dion circling in the corner. Dion trying to feed it across to Simmer. He tried to kick it to the goal mouth to Taylor. It's poked free. Now Gradin along the boards, sliding it to the line, kept in there by Simmer. Into Taylor. Taylor and Smith bump against the boards. Dion comes up with it. Dion still controlling it. Back to the line for Evans. To Dion. Dion racing in. Good move. Dion takes the shot. The rebound, and Brodeur manages to fall on top of it.
Isn't that Dion some kind of player? I mean, he can handle that puck so well in traffic, make those quick moves. He can cut on such a small circle. But let's watch the give and go to Evans. Dion will do the rest. And And they shot again. Brodeur sizing up the situation and beating Dion. Then you saw Simmer coming in there for a rebound, which also was smothered by Brodeur.
Well, Keenson's taking over for Lessard after the fourth Vancouver goal has not been tested. But Brodeur certainly has been. Back to the line. Larry Murphy with a drive over top of the net. Simmer now. Cross to Taylor. He couldn't control it. Back to the line to Murphy. To Taylor. Taylor slaps it in wide. Evans from the point. Playing it in to Simmer. Back to the line to Murphy. Slap shot. It's wide. The rebound. They score. Taylor.
The pressure was there by the LA Kings. They moved the puck around very effectively. And the veteran Dave Taylor on the power play. But look at the bounce from the boards. Brodeur got tied up by Dion in front of the net, and Taylor was able to find that open area and stuff it home. That's another reason, Don, why you get guys involved in front of the net. If there's a collision against the goaltender to throw off his timing or even lose his balance the way Brodeur did there, that allowed Taylor to have a good shot at that open net, and he made no mistake.
Now, once again, it's a one-goal game. Here's another crazy bounce that is just fired wide. Brock Treadway just missing. Now in the center ice area, Bolderev across the line. Stopped at the side of the net by Keens. Bolderev runs into Treadway, knocks him down. Korat goes back at the goal. Up along the boards for Treadway. Bolderev after him again, but he clears it to center ice. Leibner out there now for his first shift of a hockey game for Vancouver as the Canucks played in across the Los Angeles line offside. 4-3, the Canucks lead the Kings with 8:13 remaining in the second period. Live from the Forum in Inglewood, the Stanley Cup playoff.
Okay, move him out!
If you've got goods to deliver and your trucks don't seem to care, if your peak season comes and your trucks are past their peak, then it's Ryder to the rescue. Ryder rents trucks, from small vans up to giant tractors, to move your products or your family.
Ain't they beautiful?
When your trucks are giving up, Ryder trucks are just starting up.
Face-off outside the Los Angeles line. Chartraw ahead for Hopkins. He tried to hit Smith. It was intercepted. Leibner dumps it on the wing for Steele. He plays it into the King zone, but Los Angeles comes back with Smith. Pass on the right side. Chartraw shoots it in. Ricochets around the board. Steele tried to clear. Kept in by Hardy. It's blocked in the save. In the corner, it's Bozak. Trying to get away from Bolderev. Bozak coming out front. He took a drive off a skate. They jam away back at the goal, and finally it's dug out and flipped down the ice by the Canucks. Right in across the line by Smith. Now Crawford and Chartraw.
Chartraw's going to get the penalty.
Something going. This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from Los Angeles.
You probably pay about 40 cents a liter for gasoline. Of that money, roughly 6 cents covers the cost of discovering and producing crude oil. Another 6 cents goes into refining, marketing, distribution, administration, corporate taxes, and profits. The retailer gets about 4 cents, so in total, the petroleum industry earns about 16 cents. The other 24 cents goes to various governments in taxes and royalties. We thought you might want to understand that, because we believe energy solutions begin with understanding.
Rick Chartraw in the penalty box for high sticking. He had a hold of Crawford's stick. You'll see Crawford try to stop at that blue line to allow his teammate to cross the zone. Now watch Chartraw retaliate with a high stick. And it looked like Crawford was going to go back at him, but used good judgment when he saw referee Wally Harris signify a penalty.
4-3. The Canucks lead it. 7:27 left in the second period. Bellin goes back to his own goal. He leaves it for Hlinka. He's trying to get away from Bozek, but is tied up. And Bellin goes back into his own zone for Gradin. Gets it over to Nil. Nil brings it in across the line. Nil working to the corner. Nil still with it. Taken in against the boards by Murphy. And finally cleared. Brodeur is forced to make the save. He quickly flips it up to Bellin. Bellin looking for Rhoda. Rhoda knocks it down, but couldn't control it. Played to the other side by Keane. Wells tried to get it out. They jam away along the board. Bellin, good move to keep it in. A shot and the save as Hlinka moved into the slot. Back to the line again. Bellin keeps it in to Hlinka. He lets it go back at the goal. And finally it's swept down the ice by Mike Murphy.
Well, the youngster Mike Murphy doing quite a job there, killing this penalty on 2 occasions. He outfought the Vancouver Canucks in the corner and was able to pick up the puck and clear the area.
Now Hallward for Vancouver to Bolderev across the line. Into Kurt Fraser. Neal back at the net. Neal knocked off the puck by Korath. Dumped out to Marcel Dion. Dion across the line. It's offside as Simmer was just ahead of the play.
It's been very noticeable that Marcel Dion is probably the quickest out on that ice tonight. If you're looking for speed, there are quite a few of the LA Kings that can motor, but Dion certainly has stood out in that area.
5:53 is the time left in the second period. 4-3. The Canucks in front, 21 seconds left in the penalty to Rick Chartrand. Back to Dave Lewis. Lewis shoots it into the Vancouver zone. Hallward back in his own goal. Just 7 seconds remaining now in the penalty to Chartrand. The fans beginning to count it down. Hallward lugs it out, in across the line. Hallward working to the corner. The Kings back at full strength. Korath behind his own goal up along the boards, and Chartrand clears it. This will produce an icing call against Los Angeles. 5:18, the time left in the second period. Don Perry saw his Los Angeles Kings trailing 4-1 at one point in this second period. Decided to make a goaltending change. Boussard went out. Keane's in. As Tiger Williams continues to sit out his misconduct penalty, and the Kings have come back.
And at that time, what did I say, Don? That the Vancouver Canucks had everything under control? I have a way of putting my mouth into it, or by putting my mouth, don't I?
Larry Murphy back at his own net. Leading the attack for the Kings. Good rushing defenseman. Firing it in wide. Brodeur takes it off the boards and smothers it for a face-off. He was beaten by a strange bounce off those boards as that puck ricocheted right up front onto the stick of Dave Taylor for the third goal by Los Angeles. Brodeur has been tested 22 times in this hockey game. He was forced to make 44 saves last evening.
You know, on the face-offs in this period, there have been 27 of them. Only 3 have been in the LA zone. All the rest have been in Vancouver's end. So that'll give you some idea of the control of this hockey game and where most of the play has been.
Nichols in the face-off circle against Gradin. Gradin got the draw. And the Canucks cleared it center ice. And there's a check. Gradin was hit. A similar type incident to the one last night where he was belted in the center ice area. In across the line, broken up by Snep. Back to Larry Murphy at his own line. Murphy on the right side for Treadway, but Los Angeles was offside.
Now, one of the more effective body checkers in the National Hockey League. Jay Wells has thrown some resounding hits in this series. The last one against Gradine. Of course, Gradine was looking behind to pick up that pass. We call those in the trade as the sucker pass. It's important for a defenseman when he sees that defenseman coming in. Hey, don't give it to your partner there and put him in such a vulnerable position.
4:38 is the time left in the second. 4-3. The Canucks in front. A capacity crowd at the Los Angeles Forum. Silent early in the second period, but they have come to life with 2 goals by the Kings. Almost stolen by Evans. He almost took it away from Bellin. It's dumped into the Los Angeles zone. Chartrand and Hardy are back for the Kings. Hardy clears it up along the boards. Bellin goes back to his own line. For Snep, lead pass picked off by Hardy. His pass in turn taken by Belland and fired back in. Now Hardy from behind his own goal. Ahead for Evans. Evans, a low drive, big rebound, but it is cleared. And the Kings regroup at center ice again. Hardy brings it in, but once again, Los Angeles is offside.
Now the wingers are in such a hurry to cross over that blue line that they forget about that puck carrier. They have to use a little discipline there. That must happen 8 or 9 times so far in this game.
Steve Armitage, what have you got for intermission number 2?
Don, during the second period intermission, I'll be talking to the captain of the Vancouver Canucks, Stan Smeal, and we'll have a feature on an artist, a hockey artist, Ken Danby.
Look forward to that, Steve. And as we look down at that Vancouver Canuck bench, we notice that Lupul is there, but as we said, he probably won't see any action unless absolutely necessary. Here's Bozak trying to get a shot away. Penalty coming up. I believe it will be Schliebner who will be going off. No, it's Moline. Moline who is drawing the penalty.
And right now, that is the most dangerous weapon for the LA Kings is their power play. Moline on the hook. Again, the Kings were breaking away. This time it was a 2-on-1 as Bozak, with that tremendous acceleration, had Moline beaten on the play and was caught on the hook. So again, the Kings will have that manpower advantage, and they have been devastating on the power play the last couple of games.
Something that is hurting Vancouver as well, Gary, the fact that Tiger Williams, who has been assigned the job of shadowing Dave Taylor, sitting in the penalty box with a misconduct. Face-off, snap up along the boards. Nill tried to get it out. However, Murphy came in to free it for the Kings. Goes into the corner to Taylor. Back to Murphy. Over to the other side for Evans. To Murphy. To Taylor. Back to Murphy. His drive knocked down in front. And the Canucks clear it.
Well, there certainly is a lot of puck movement by the LA Kings and player movement. They do throw it around looking for that good chance.
Broken up just inside the Vancouver line by Snep and flipped down the ice. Now Larry Murphy back of his own goal. Smeal and Delorme are out there killing off this penalty along with Eldebrink and Snep. 1:10 left in the sentence. Here's Dion cutting in from the right side. Delorme has fallen down. Snep goes back of the goal to break it up, but Dion gets it again. Back to Evans. To Dion. Dion almost fanned on it. Still retains possession. Dion trying to feed it across for Taylor, and it was cleared by the Canucks.
Now he sized that play up perfectly, just moved in Taylor's line and was able to ice the puck. Good defensive play.
Bozak cutting in from the right side, feeding it in front. There was nobody there. Along the boards, Bozak gets it again to the line. Evans trying to keep it in. He succeeds in doing so. To Dion, over to Simmer. Simmer at the side of the net. Comes back out to Murphy, over to Evans. He winds up. And Eldebrink stopped that shot and then fell to the ice with it. And he appears to be hurt, at least that's the initial indication from Brodeur, as he is signaling to the Vancouver bench.
Well, what a gutty performance these youngsters have done behind the blue line. Eldebrink has moved in there, and he has done the job. Look at the timing, going down there, blocked that shot, and probably got that right on the palm. And that's smart because there isn't much padding in that area. And the Canucks can ill afford to lose another player. Another defenseman. Make matters worse.
1:53 is the time left in the period. 12 seconds in the penalty to Lars Molin. 4-3, the Canucks lead.
Don, the coaching staff had mentioned, if we could only capitalize on our chances, we'd be in a good situation. Tonight, that certainly has come into play because the Canucks have only registered 11 shots on net and have scored 4 goals for that lead.
Anders Eldebrink comes off to the Canuck bench. Hallward is out there with Steps now. Just 12 seconds left in the penalty to Moline. Dean also comes out along with Nil. 4-3, the Canucks in front. 1:53 left in the second period. Game 4 of this series, Vancouver leading 2-1. Hallward up along the boards. Nil tries to get it out and succeeds in doing so. Korath back in his own zone. The penalty to Moline is over. Lead pass for Nichols. It's deflected into the Vancouver zone. Steps trying to play it along the boards and succeeds in getting it out to center ice. Korath shoots it back in. Hallward racing in behind the goal with Nichols. It comes loose to Treadway. He tried to center it. It's loose in front of the net and was cleared away just in time. Up along the boards to center ice. Nichols pokes it free for the Kings. In across the line. He dodges the check. Gets it back to Treadway. He had it stolen. Here's a chance for the Canucks. Bradeen and Moline. Bradeen is taken out of the play by Chartrand. And Lewis takes over for Los Angeles to Treadway. Across the line. Treadway dropping it. There was nobody there. And it's cleared by Vancouver with 47 seconds left in the second period. Chartrand, lead pass for Dion. Dion on the left side for Evans. Tried to go around Hallward. Good move by the young defenseman. He took it away. Taylor gets it back. Taylor trying to play it out front. Dion trying to get a stick on it. He was knocked flying. And going into the corner after it is Fraser. Fraser up along the boards for Smeal. Across the line, slap shot, a rising drive that whistled off the glass, back to the line, kept in there by Fraser. Smeal tried to feed it in front, and it wound up at the side of the net, and Keane dropped on it.
Well, the Kings just keep coming at the Vancouver Canucks, but I think the Canucks are allowing to do so. They're not applying any pressure whatsoever in LA zone. And, you can only keep that lead for so long if you let that team come at you. A lot of good scoring opportunities that the Kings have mustered in this second period.
This must be somewhat of a nervous situation for Doug Keane. Only 2 periods of playoff hockey in his career coming in. Mario Lessard being yanked after giving up 3 goals.
Well, it is a nervous situation for Keane, but he hasn't had the shots. He's only had to make 1 save, and it's important for the Canucks. Hey, let's test this guy. Let's see what he's got. But it's going to take more than 1 shot to see if he can make the save.
Face-off to the right of Keane. 11 seconds remaining in the period. Halinka from the face-off tried to flip it to the goal mouth. It's played over to the boards. Bozak on the right side for Simmer. That's period, and the Vancouver Canucks will head to the dressing room with the lead.
Well, a 4-1 lead is now a 4-3 lead, but the Canucks are still ahead, so a chance for them to go in the dressing room, regroup, talk about that up-and-coming third period, but it's important that they play or spend a little more time in the LA zone if they're going to win this hockey game.
So the score at the end of the second period, Vancouver 4, Los Angeles 3.
Such an intriguing, riveting experience for me, without me even being aware of it, that it kept recurring in my mind. I completed at the crease, so I carried through on another aspect of the game, the suiting up. It also occurred to me that there was a ritual involved in the preparation for the activity itself, for hockey, which materialized in the image called lacing up. As I encounter instances, experiences that involve sport on a visual plane or otherwise, I'm sure I'll respond to it. I don't want to become known as a painter of sport, but simply as an explorer of things visual. And certainly sport is going to continue as something that's important to me in that context.
Wayne Gretzky may be the artist on the ice, but off the ice, the artist is certainly Ken Danby when it comes to hockey. Coming up next, we'll update the playoff scoreboard. We'll return with the Stanley Cup playoffs in just a moment.
You've got the time to spend.
Pacific Coliseum in Vancouver. Kings against the Canucks, Game 5, and it's a 7:30 start Pacific Standard Time. Here, after 2 periods of play in Los Angeles tonight, we've got a close one going. It's the Canucks in front of the Kings by a score of 4-3. Right now, let's update our playoff scoreboard for you in the Adams division. Lane Nordique came on strong against the Boston Bruins tonight. They won it 7-4. That series even at 2. In the Patrick division, it was the Islanders over the Rangers 5-3. The Islanders now have a 3-1 series lead there, and it's back to Uniondale. In the Norris division, it was Chicago over St. Louis 7-4. The Blackhawks have a commanding 3-1 lead in that series. Right now, let's join Don and Gary.
Well, the Vancouver Canucks will take a 1-goal lead into the third period. It looked as though they might just run away. Fraser, Williams, and Broda staking the Canucks to a 4-1 lead after 8 minutes of play. But then the Kings came back. Mike Murphy and Taylor scoring for Los Angeles as the Kings continued to hold the edge in shots on goal. But Doug Keens, who took over for Mario Lazard after that last goal by Williams, was faced with only 1 shot. Jerry Buss, the owner of the Kings, waving to some of the spectators in attendance. Jerry Buss invites many of the celebrities who attend the games in Los Angeles into his private box down at ice level to watch the action. And of course, Steve Armitage has been wandering by, and as you saw last evening, chatting with some of the people who have been on hand.
Now there's a guy that's given the Canucks the most trouble once the LA team gets in the Vancouver end is Marcel Dion. They're going to have to pay special attention to him.
Gary, what about this third period, the length of the shifts, etc.? The Canucks must be tired with the extra work that many of the players are seeing because of injury.
Well, you have to cut them down to about 30, 40 seconds.
Alderbrink is rammed in against the goal by Dion. Dion also goes in against the net. He loses his helmet. Now Gradine comes in to help out. Kept in at the line. The Kings starting off this third period, applying pressure, looking for that equalizer. Dumped out to center ice. Now Taylor plays it back to his own line to Korath. Long drive wide of the goal. It rebounds off the boards. Picked up by the Canucks and lugged out to center ice. Fraser in on the left side. Gradine with a drive. Keane steers it to the corner. Comes back to the line. Bennett winds up right on. And Keane's got a piece of that one. Now the Canucks are applying some pressure, but the Kings break out. Pass on the left side. Bozak dropping it. Slip shot, and Hopkins attempted to steer it in. Hopkins going from back of the goal, trying to move out front. It finally was knocked off his stick, and Nil comes back for Vancouver. Nil at the line, had it knocked down by Hardy. Boldyrev brings it back to Snaps. Over to Bellin. Bellin ahead. Williams for Boldyrev. Shot, score!
What a play by Jim Nil. Boy, did he thread the needle on that one. And a big, big goal for the Vancouver Canucks. See Tiger Williams offering the congratulations. Boy, Boldyrev, did he snap that one. And it was Tiger Williams that fed him the pass, not Nil. And a quick slap shot. Keanes was well out, but the shot beat him. And that, you can't say enough about that goal. Let's look at the position that Keanes has as the puck just blows by him, and that's Boldyrev's second goal of the game.
You were rather prophetic, Mr. Dornhopper, in the first period when you suggested that once Boldyrev started scoring, he might get a few. He has two tonight. 5-3, a big goal for the Canucks as they have a two-goal lead with 17:59 remaining in the hockey game. From the Forum in Inglewood, this is Stanley Cup 82 on CBC.
What you got there, pal? Oh, Harry, it's a Stanley garage door opener. I'm gonna do it myself. You?
The Stanley garage door opener is made to install yourself. Everything is in the box.
Need any help, pal? Nope.
The directions are clear and simple, and it only takes about 4 hours.
That's 21-year-old Jim Fox, who was injured in last night's hockey game. He took the pregame warm-up, testing an injured knee. He has a Charlie horse, unable to play tonight. A drive from the faceoff, another shot, and again Brodeur makes the save. This time off Treadway. Back to the line, Wells with the drive. Wells gets it again, another shot. It hit a leg, and finally is cleared by Hallward. Going back after it is Murphy as he touches it. Icing is called against the Vancouver Canucks. Gary, we talked about those short shifts, and in this hockey game, Roger Nielsen has certainly been forced to do some lineup juggling.
Oh, he's gradually losing a lot of his players, and it's unfortunate, but the guys are hanging together. They're plugging in there, and Don, as the face-offs continue to end up in the Vancouver zone in that second period, Canucks only won 13 and lost 29, so that's an area that they certainly have to improve on. But the big one had to be Stan Smeel. He took the only face-off of that second period, and Frazier got the goal, the result of that good draw.
Now Lars Moline moves into the face-off circle against Marcel Dion. Dion gets the drop back to the line. Evans took a shot. It gets tangled up in the skate. Evans is upset. The fans reacting, thinking a penalty should have been called. Moline is hurt. He falls in the center ice area as he and Lewis collided. Moline favoring his right arm. Boy, oh boy, I wonder if the Canucks are going to have enough people left to finish this series the way things have been going.
Now Roger Nielsen on the back of the Canucks bench with a worried look on his face, but let's look at the action. The fans were hollering about that one, and then watch Moline go down, and there's the slash by Captain Dave Lewis of the Kings.
Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from Los Angeles.
Are they prescription?
Play just underway. Evans with a drive from a sharp angle. It ricocheted up into the stands, high up in the Los Angeles Forum. 17:06 left in the hockey game.
That last scoring play by the Vancouver Canucks, Boldyrev, his third of the playoffs. Williams and Bellin drawing the assist.
Gary, how about those other games tonight in Stanley Cup playoff activity? Any of the results surprise you at all?
Well, the Nordiques, how they keep bouncing back. That series now tied at 2, and that has to
worry Jerry Cheevers. But it goes back to Boston, and that's where the Nordiques have a lot of problems.
And for the 2 wins back at the Coliseum, it's been John Garrett in goal. Here's a chance for Evans, breaking in on the left side. His shot and the save by Brodeur, way out of the net. Brodeur falls, but Gradin is able to clear it for Vancouver. Korath chased back of his goal by Tiger Williams.
You see Tiger swinging away from that, allowed Korath to come right out of the zone. You might as well stop right in front of the net and make the defense make a good play.
Hardy with a shot. It's wide off the board. Kept in by Mike Murphy. Leon had difficulty controlling it in the corner, and Sneps was able to clear. And as Chartrand goes back, icing is called against Vancouver.
Now, Rick Chartrand, when he came to training camp this past year, he was about 30 pounds overweight. Well, that did not sit very well with the LA Kings, so immediately he was demoted to the minors. A new change of attitude and a real big weight loss prompted the Kings to bring him back, and he has been a standout in the playoffs.
Well, as the Canucks made a line change, Murphy and Tiger Williams, who earlier had drawn 10-minute misconduct, had another exchange of words, and for a moment it looked as though Murphy was going to try and go after Williams, but the officials quickly interceded. Cleared down the ice again by the Canucks. As Chartrand goes back, this will produce another icing call, and for the rest of this hockey game, Gary, I would think that the strategy of the Canucks would be to do just that.
Well, I can see dumping it out, but I don't like the idea of icing the puck, because what you're doing is the play comes back into your own zone, and the Kings, that is certainly their strength, is on the face-offs, and I'm sure Roger Nielsen is mentioning that to his troops. You know, you give it the alley-oop or hard off the boards.
Right out now, Crawford shooting it into the Los Angeles zone. Hardy goes back after it, taken in against the boards by DeLorme. Bonner got it up in the line. There's a drive by Schliebner from the point. That didn't get to the goal as it hit Zimmer and was deflected up to center ice. A lead pass intercepted by the Canucks, but it was brought in across the line offside.
Well, as this game winds down, you know that LA Kings have to start taking some chances. And a team that has the lead, you always wait for that, knowing that sooner or later they get a little careless and another defenseman gets involved in the offensive flow, and then you become so vulnerable. And that's the time that you have to capitalize on that 3-on-2 or 3-on-1 break and just put the game right out of reach.
Wells in his own zone, 15-36. The Canucks in front by a score of 5-3, looking to go home with a 3-1 advantage. Trying to wrap it up if they should win this one at the Coliseum on Wednesday night. An offside call, the face-off outside the Los Angeles line. And we remind all Vancouver hockey fans, we understand there are still some tickets available for Wednesday night's game at the Coliseum.
Well, play has slowed down considerably in the last few minutes, and the Vancouver Canucks, they like that just fine. That's the slow the tempo down, get the Kings frustrated. That normally produces a lot of giveaways.
15-25, the time left in this hockey game. Vancouver in front, 5-3. Ivan Boldarev with 2 goals tonight. He's notched the first and the 5th of the hockey game. Flipped into the corner, Sneps is bodied off the puck by Taylor. The puck goes loose. Crawford comes in to help out. He clears. Picked up by Moline in across the line. Moline still controlling it, tried to flip it over to an open wing. Evans got there first. He bumps with Tiger Williams. Moline also comes in, but Dion gets the puck. Dion takes a shot off a leg, cleared to the line, kept in by the Kings. A weak shot by Murphy is knocked down by Gradin as he brings it out to center. Gradin loses it at the Los Angeles line. And back comes Evans. Evans, slap shot. Skate save by Brodeur as it goes to the boards to Gradin. Another drive, and this one is gloved by Brodeur off the stick of Lewis. Forcing a face-off in the Vancouver zone. 14:28 left in the hockey game.
A little concern Coach John Perry did play a lot of hockey in the Eastern League. Was a big, rugged defenseman, and the highest level that he ever achieved was in the American League. Played a game in the National Hockey League. So not always the idea of a coach has to be a player that participated in the league.
In many sports, Gary, the best coaches quite often were not really outstanding players themselves. Now Howard off the boards and down the ice. Racing back after it is Lewis. And once again, icing is called against Vancouver. This is Hockey Night in Canada from the Forum in Inglewood.
These cuddly lawn care gadgets mow, mulch, and fertilize the lawn at the same time.
Ivan Halenka talking to Darcy Rhoda before moving into the face-off circle.
Well, Nichols being a left-hand shot or right-hand shot, he's trying to draw to Korab back on the point.
And he does. Korab with a drive. It sails wide. They fight for it along the boards. It comes loose. Halenka breaks out for Vancouver. Halenka trying to go around Korab. A backhand drive. And it just went wide. Picked up along the boards by Nichols to center ice for Bozek. In across the line, back to Nichols to the other side. Too far for Kelly. Kelly gives it to Nichols. Nichols trying to feed it in front, and it's broken up by the Canucks. Darcy Rhoda gets it ahead to Halenka with Stan Smeal. Halenka trying to move into the slot area. Backhand shot. Skate saved by Keane. Korab comes back for Los Angeles. Long drive deflected to the corner by Brodeur. Loose puck in the corner. Simmer gets it as he steals it, trying to feed it in front. And it's picked up by the Canucks and dumped to center ice. Smeal fires it into the Los Angeles zone and then goes to the bench for a change. Chartraw along the board trying to get away from Fraser. The puck just lays there, and finally Chartraw got back to clear it. Now bringing it in, Smith. The penalty coming up, a drive off the glass. A delayed call against the Canucks. And as it's touched by the Canucks, Bellin, the play whistled down by referee Wally Harris. With the score, Vancouver 5, Los Angeles 3. This is Stanley Cup 82.
Well, if you want to give the LA Kings a little bit of life, that's the type of penalty to take in the neutral zone. Kurt Fraser on the slashing call, and you know, plays like that, you just have to use a little discipline. If you can't catch that man, just look behind and pick up the trailer.
That penalty to Fraser coming at the 7-minute mark. From the face-off, back to the line to Evans, over to the other side. Murphy with a drive. It was knocked down by Sneps and cleared. We talked about Colin Campbell being out of the lineup tonight. Lars Lindgren is dressed, but he has not been out for a shift. Evans for Los Angeles, shooting it in. Lemieux stopping it back at the goal for Sneps. He plays it up along the boards, and Moline manages to dump it down the ice. Keane way out of his goal. Gets it ahead for Taylor. To Simmer across the line. Simmer back to Evans. A drive right on. Big rebound all the way out to Murphy. Over to Evans. Another shot. It goes wide. It comes off the backboard. Picked up by Simmer. Back to the line to Evans. He winds up again. It's deflected. Smeal in front of the net trying to get it out. And it's finally cleared to center. Evans brings it in. His shot hits Sneps and deflects the center. 49 seconds left in the penalty to Kurt Fraser. Aldebrink intercepts a pass and fires it into the Vancouver zone, into the Los Angeles zone.
Isn't it amazing? 5 guys. What a gutty performance back behind that blue line.
Now it's Kelly. Working to the corner. Nichols also comes in along with Aldebrink. Back to Hardy. And his drive was gloved by Brodeur with 24 seconds left.
in the penalty to Fraser.
Again, you always talk about you need a lot of talent, talented hockey players. But here, a group of Canucks that they're not the greatest defensemen in the world, but I've never seen a better effort in all 3 games. And tonight, with the loss of Campbell, Lindgren sitting on the bench, you have 5 of them just time and time again blocking shots, bumping people, getting it out of the zone. So you don't need a lot of talent, just hard work.
There's a drive by Hardy and another save by Brodeur. Out to the line for Moline. Over on the right side for Gradine, and he dumps it into the Los Angeles zone. 33-16, the shots on goal, and Brodeur has been brilliant again tonight. Nichols with a drive, and it did not get to the goal as it was knocked down by Aldebrink. Now in the corner, Bozak, back of his own goal, trying to feed it out front. The penalized player back on the ice. The Canucks at full strength again. Picked up in the corner by Vancouver, to the line, knocked down there by Hardy. Nichols spins around and takes the shot. But the play is whistled down. It was played ahead with a glove by Hardy. And Hardy ran into a check just as soon as he gloved it, and Nichols spun around. But 10:44 is the time remaining in this hockey game.
Well, the coaching staff of the LA Kings still wondering what they have to do to score some goals and win a hockey game here at the Forum. But this has not been a place where the Kings have been very successful. I mean, they've won their share of games, but with their attack, they should dominate teams in LA. But because of the ice, that is such a big factor for a fast skating hockey club. It slows everything down, and they really can't take advantage of this building.
Schlebner clearing it to center. Boldarev, who has scored twice this evening, dumping it back out. Now the Kings shoot it in. Hopkins tried to pick it up off the boards. It comes back to the line for Chartrand to Murphy. He tried to feed Hopkins, and he was tied up at the side of the net. Finally, it's pulled free. Belland racing after it, along with Delorme. Now Hallward takes it in back of his own goal. For Delorme into the center ice area. He shoots it into the Los Angeles zone. Keane stops it back of the net for Chartrand. Dump pass into the center ice area. Hopkins with Murphy. Murphy with the shot, a bouncing shot that goes wide. It's centered in front by Hopkins, and Brodeur grabs it again. Hockey Night in Canada will continue in a moment.
This dandelion has just been fed easy.
Brodeur and Keynes, the goaltenders. 33-16, the shots on goal. Lassard started the game. He was lifted at 8:02 of the second period with Vancouver in front 4-1. Dumped down the ice, resulting in another icing infraction against the Canucks.
Don, I don't think these blue jackets that we're wearing have made much of an impression here in LA, because we are now getting peppered with peanuts. The fans are taking their frustrations out on us.
Well, they have been known to grow a little noisy, and I suppose with that score reading 5-3 in favor of the Canucks and possible elimination for the Kings from Stanley Cup playoff activity on Wednesday night, they are upset. They had great hopes after the Kings knocked off Edmonton in the preliminary round of going all the way. They were talking Stanley Cup here in Los Angeles. However, the Vancouver Canucks have other ideas, and what a gritty performance by Vancouver with all those injured players. Gradine taken out of the play by Chartrand. The puck goes loose in the Los Angeles zone. Marcel Dion gets it up on the right side. Now over to Evans. Evans takes the shot that deflects high. The puck bouncing around in the Vancouver zone. Gradine finally works it loose to center. Dion goes back into his own zone to Korath. He plays it off the boards, intercepted by Sneps and fired back in with 9 minutes left in the hockey game. Vancouver in front 5-3. Aline takes Taylor out of the play. Here's a 2-on-1 break for the Canucks. Halinka with a shot, and dropping in front of it was Lewis. He got a piece of it to deflect it to the corner. In the center ice area, Halinka gets it again. Over on the left side for Tiger Williams. He's got a goal tonight. He couldn't get around Korath. And Lewis goes back at his own goal, being bothered there by Halinka. Halinka takes him in against the boards. However, it's brought out to center ice by Nichols. He's checked by Williams. And the Canucks, Gary, right now on very short shifts.
Well, that's very important for them, is dump it in and then get fresh troops out there. You're not good to anybody when you're tired, and they realize that, and they're playing it very smart.
Halinka in across the line. Tried to feed it over on the wing for Rhoda. It was broken up. Fed back out front again. Loose in the Los Angeles zone and brought out now by Treadway. Treadway is taken in against the boards. It goes loose in the corner. They try and center it. It goes off the side of the goal. Treadway gets it again in the corner. Treadway now playing it back of the net. There's nobody there, and Brodeur is out of his goal to play it up along the right wing boards. And finally, it's dumped down the ice by Eldebrink, and this will produce another icing call. Live from the Forum in Inglewood, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
This is Canada's Navy at work. It's the vital work of peacetime protection and of wartime raids. Work that requires skill and precision under the most exacting conditions. And it takes a special kind of person to do it. If you think you've got it, welcome aboard.
There's no life like it. No, there's no life like it. No, there's no life like it.
Call us collect about a career in the Canadian Forces Navy. We're in the Yellow Pages under recruiting.
The Canucks 7:34 away from taking a 3-1 lead in this series. Evans from the faceoff took a shot. He got the puck again, flipped it to the corner. It goes back of the goal. Evans trying to center it. Dion was positioned in front. Taylor now goes to the boards. He loses his stick. The puck loose along the boards and dumped to center ice.
Oh, it has to be so frustrating as I watch this game wind down. The Canucks all over LA, and it looks like LA is really running out of steam. They don't have much of an attack going.
Snap, using his size and his strength along the boards to take it away from Taylor and fire it down the ice. No icing. Chartrop bumps in the corner with Williams. The puck goes loose. Wells plays it up along the boards for Hopkins. Williams after him. Williams takes him out of the play, but the puck picked up on the wing, and the drive by Dion, gloved by Brodeur and held for a face-off.
And now when you're sitting on the bench, you just come off a shift, you take a sigh of relief. The goal wasn't scored against you, and then you look up at the clock, watch it wind down. The next line goes out, you shift further to the other end, and you know that you're up after that shift. After you come off the ice again, you look at that clock winding down some more. So there, guys are thinking now, hey, all I have to do is put in 2 or 3 more solid shifts. No mistakes, and we've got this one in the bag.
Well, the Canucks tonight, without 3 players who were in the lineup last evening, Lupo, Lindgren, and Campbell. Lupo suffered that slight concussion when hit in the first period. He has not been back since. And Lindgren, of course, while dressed, has not been on the ice. Now the Kings have it inside the Vancouver zone, but Howard making a good play to take it away from Hopkins in back of the goal. Hopkins has it again. Howard comes in and scores. The puck came out to Smith, and he fired it home.
The rookie, the 18-year-old Smith, a quick release. He was in that slot area, but Hopkins does some good work here. Howard takes him in. He's still able to get that puck in front of the net. You notice that Smith didn't waste any time. And you notice Eldebrink, he's looking behind the net. He's watching what's happening behind instead of going sideways. That way you're able to see who's in the slot and also watch the play behind the net. So Doug Smith, his 3rd goal of the Stanley Cup playoffs, moves the Kings within 1 with 6:20 left to play.
Well, that will certainly provide the Los Angeles Kings with a lift. 35-16, the shots on goal now in favor of the Kings. Korath goes back to his own line, over to Lewis. The fans chanting and yelling now. They were quiet for a good portion of this 3rd period. Cleared down the ice by Snap. minutes now remaining in the hockey game. 5-4 is the score. Snepp breaks it up in the center ice area, shoots it back in, but a Canuck player was trapped offside. This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from Los Angeles.
Pharmasafe sure gives me a lot of...
Doug Keynes has only faced 6 shots since taking over from Mario Lessard. Brodeur at the other end has been tested 35 times. 5-4, the Canucks lead. The Kings 5:58 left in the game. Along the boards, they force another face-off in the neutral zone.
Well, this game hasn't had the speed that the one last night did, and due to the fact that it was 85 degrees outside today in LA, and you've got a jam-packed crowd, very warm in this building. And of course, we mentioned before the ice conditions. And the teams, both of them, have to be very tired. 4 games in 5 nights, and Don, you mentioned before, the 9th game in 13 days for the LA Kings. That is tough.
In the center ice area, Bellin going down, using his glove to play that when he was beaten last night for a goal by Dion when he failed to do that, and it hopped over his stick. Here's Simmer trying to break in, and a good move by Bellin coming back to take him out of it. In the corner, Williams falls on top of the puck, forcing a face-off. 5:33 left in the game.
You know, I'm really surprised that Don Perry hasn't tried to get a different matchup. Get Simmer and Taylor away from Williams or Dion. Let me try that one more time as we watch that rush. Simmer and Taylor have been matched up against Delorme and Williams, and I'm surprised that Perry hasn't tried to switch that around a bit, because they rely so much on Simmer getting some goals and Taylor. Taylor, of course, scored tonight, but that was on a power play. In an even strength situation in the series, only Taylor has scored 1 goal.
Redin against Simmer in the face-off circle. It went back to Snaps in attempting to clear. He fired it over the boards and out of play. Souvenir for one of the Los Angeles hockey fans. Bernie Nichols of the Kings certainly ingratiates himself to Los Angeles hockey fans after the pregame warm-ups. He must throw at least 10 or 15 pucks into the stands.
It's like Nick Fotiu in Madison Square Garden. He's become a big favorite there.
Gradin against Simmer again. Gradin gets the draw back to Snaps. Up along the boards. Hardy manages to keep it in. Snaps tries to clear again. This time knocked down by Dion. Dion back to the net. Knocked away by Snaps and kept in at the point. Murphy. And then finally cleared by Snaps, and Hardy has to go back after it. Snaps all over the ice and attempting to move that puck out of his own zone, and he finally succeeded in doing so. Hardy trying to get away from Gradin. And across the line, a flip shot wide of the net. Loose in behind the goal. Eldebrink has it for Vancouver. Eldebrink clears it. Racing after it is Gradin. Hardy gets there. He touches it. Hardy takes Gradin in against the boards. Moline also comes in there, and they hold the puck for a face-off with 4:37 remaining in the game. 5-4, Vancouver leading.
Well, there's another line change, and now they're down to about 30 seconds a shift. Keynes looking on. Hasn't had a lot of work. Ivan Boldarev beat him on a slap shot for the only goal against them.
Gary, the face-offs have been extremely important in this series, in this hockey game. The Canucks down to 3 centers with Lupul injured. And here we have Hlinka going against Nichols.
Hlinka has always been a strong face-off man.
Puck comes to Chartrand. Into the center ice area for Nichols. In on the wing, drops it for Bozak. Bozak trying to move in, takes the shot, gets it again. Bozak going for the goal, now behind the net, being tied up by Hlinka. Eldebrink knocked off the puck by Kelly. Hlinka and Bozak also come in the Vancouver zone, and they force another face-off.
Well, I was surprised that Bozak would not try and shoot that puck from that slot area, try to beat one more man. He was in perfect position. And that allowed the Canucks to cover up. Let's have a look at it again. Right there, he'll shoot it, now get the rebound. Now another opportunity to shoot it, but he tries to swing around behind the net, and the big guy, the big Czech, came back. Halenka to strip him from the puck. 79-43 in 2 games. The shots on goal. Here's another drive, and it's knocked down in front, and there appears to be an injured Vancouver player. Dumped into the Los Angeles zone. Cleared to center ice. Loose puck. Elland was hurt when he stopped that drive. Elland has gone to the Vancouver bench. As well, goes back to his own goal. 3:42 left in the hockey game. Let's go, guys! Wells with a long drop. Blocked by Brodeur. The Canucks attempt to clear. It's deflected over the glass and out of play. That's an incredible total, 79-43, the shots on goal in favor of the Los Angeles Kings. And the concern at the bench, the players looking down. Apparently when that puck was fired over the boards, it hit a spectator. And what a lot of people do not realize, that there are so many bumps and bruises that players on both teams have received in this series. Now some have been forced out of the lineup, but a lot of other guys are quite hurt. You just put the equipment on, go out there and try to do the best you can. 3:32 is the time left. 5-4. The Canucks leading the Kings. Game 5 in this series at the Pacific Coliseum on Wednesday night. Should it go 6, they'll be back in Los Angeles on Friday. And apparently the Vancouver Canucks have called a timeout.
That's a very good call by Coach Roger Nielsen. Get a chance to relax and talk about what they have to do in this last 3 minutes and 32 seconds. If there's any momentum with LA, this will stall it for a few moments. Basically, just to give the guys a rest, because they are pooped. Both teams very tired at this stage of the game.
During the final 3 minutes and 32 seconds, I'm sure that both teams will shorten their bench. Nielsen in a defensive capacity, and of course Don Perry trying to get his gunners out there.
Well, just in front of us, Kevin McCarthy is heading down to the locker room, sporting 2 crutches, a broken ankle of his.
Terribly disappointed, Kevin McCarthy, that he suffered that injury in practice just prior to the playoffs getting underway. Big loss for the Canucks. From the face-off, it's dumped down the ice. Kings got the draw, but there was nobody at the point to keep it in. Now it's Taylor dumping it in behind the Vancouver goal. Selin up along the board, kept in by Lewis. Lewis played it back of the net. Evans is knocked over by Snap, and the puck cleared by the big Canuck defenseman. This will produce an icing call as Dion races back after it. 3:02 left in the hockey game. 5-4 Vancouver leading Los Angeles.
Dion has been very successful on the face-off spot from the right of Brodeur. He's been able to draw to Dave Taylor on 3 occasions and have resulted in good shots on net. Now he's a right-handed face-off man, so he's going on his backhand, and Taylor has had a picnic firing that shot off the net.
The first 3 games in this series have been 1-goal decisions. Has Harold Snep's been off the ice in this 3rd period?
What a courageous performance.
Larry Murphy from the line, a shot high off the glass. The Kings managed to keep it in as they jam away along the boards. And finally force another face-off. 2:46 now, the time left in the hockey game.
Never seen so many whistles that we had in this 3rd period. I mean, the Canucks are just hanging on by the skin of their teeth at every opportunity. It's either iced or
held against the boards, or Brodeur will get his treffer on it. This has been a matchup also in the face-offs. Gradine and Nichols, they are going at about 50%.
From the face-off, Gradine gets it to nil. He's unable to clear it. Kept in by Bozak. He takes the shot wide. Along the boards, Tiger Williams dumps it down the ice. Gradine very nearly picked it up. Fired back in by Los Angeles. This is going to produce an icing call against the Kings with 2:27 left in the game.
Now, one of the few times that the LA Kings have iced the puck, but a sigh of relief from the coaching staff in Vancouver's zone. And you see Perry still offering that encouragement, getting the guys going. And when the Kings had scored their fourth goal to move to within one, owner Jerry Buss was up in that area, leading the cheer and encouraging his team to let's get that tire.
Well, there's the private box of the Los Angeles King owner Jerry Buss in that playoff series against the Edmonton Oilers in Game 3. He left in the third period, as he explained in the interview last night to Steve Armitage. They made a comeback, but he is not leaving this evening. On the boards, Murphy manages to dump it to center ice for Hopkins. Over on the wing for Smith. He got the fourth goal of the game. It's loose along the boards. Back to the point to Wells. Wells flips it in. It goes behind the goal. Hallward playing it up along the boards. Kept in at the point by Korath. Hopkins working against Smith. Two big fellas in the corner. Smith is also in there. He's spun around. The fans reacting, thinking there should have been a penalty call. Picked up by Wells. Wells from the corner trying to center it. Taken away by Halinka. Halinka gives it to Hallward. He goes back of his own goal and bounces it off the boards. Finally, it's brought out by Smith. Flipped back in by the Canucks with 1:41 left in the hockey game. They bump in the corner. The puck is loose. Taylor trying to poke it free. He does. Back at the net. Now trying to move out front. Taken in against the goal by Hallward. They fall back at the net and force another face-off.
You know, the Canucks, when they get possession of the puck in their own zone, they're going to rifle it around the boards. Now, whichever side it comes out, it's important that the wingers make sure the defense does not get a hold of it. Freeze it or just deflect it by it.
And now Keynes is going to the Los Angeles bench. They're going to put the extra attacker out there with the face-off in the Vancouver zone.
Now, if the Canucks do get possession, I just don't like the idea of trying for that open net from your own zone. Use a lot of discipline in this area and just hang on to it, or just make sure it gets over the blue line, but don't shoot it in unless you're over the red line, because again, most of the play has been in the Vancouver zone, and you just sense that one of these days the face-off is really going to hurt them.
It comes back to the line. Murphy dropping it now. Evans with a shot. Knocked down by Gradine. Picked up along the boards and cleared by DeLorme. Evans goes back into his own zone. Evans being chased back at the goal by Smeal. Now the Kings trying to get an attack organized. Right in across the line by Bozak.
1 minute.
It's played in back of the goal for Dion as we move into the final minutes. Net takes it in against the boards and freezes it for another face-off. Some shoving going on in the corner. Bozak trying to get into the middle of it all. However, the officials quickly intervene with 56 seconds remaining. 5-4, Vancouver leading. The Canucks in front in the series, 2-1.
Another exciting finish. You wonder what the thoughts of the LA Kings are. Can we pull off another miracle finish the way we did against the Oilers? All the players are on the edge of their seats, some standing, watching for this very important face-off, and Perry has the youngster, Nichols. But it doesn't look like Nichols will take the draw.
Now we will will be Gradine moving into the face-off circle, or perhaps they're going to make a change there as well.
I would think Dion would come out, Don, because he has been very successful, especially from this face-off point.
It is Gradine against Dion. Dion will try to get it back to Evans. They do. Here's the drive. It's just wide. Along the boards, Williams tried to clear it, kept in. Here's Dion in front of the goal. What a save by Brodeur. On the backhand by Dion. A fight for it along the boards. Taylor with a shot. Knocked down in front as it hit a leg. To the line, kept in there by Evans. Finally, it's cleared by Vancouver. Evans racing back for it against Smeal with 30 seconds left in the hockey game. Two big saves by Brodeur in this final minute. Alderbrink races back after it. He's guarded by Dion. It comes loose to Nichols. Now it goes behind the goal. Dion trying to center it. It went off snap to the corner, up along the boards. Murphy with a shot. Deflected wide. Out front for Bozak. He couldn't get a shot away. 10 seconds remaining. Knocked down as Evans took a drive. They fight along the boards with just 3 seconds left in the hockey game, forcing a face-off in the Vancouver zone. All sorts of pressure by the Kings in this final minute. Brodeur with some big saves again, and once again we apologize for some of the problems encountered here in the Forum with the spectators standing blocking the view of our cameras and also blocking our view from our broadcast position. We're located in the stands, and the fans here at the Forum stand up rather frequently, obstructing our view of the activity, and our cameras are blocked here in this third period, so we are covering it from our end zone camera for the most part.
Now, I understand that the LA Kings have called a timeout, so they'll have a chance to talk about it, but after the face-off, or after the puck was held against the boards, it was an interesting shot with Dion rather, right in front of Lassard, and Dion just tapped the, I'm sorry, Brodeur, and he just tapped the pads of Brodeur saying, hey, kid, what a performance you've had tonight. And Brodeur did the same thing to Dion, who has been the best player for the LA Kings. But there were about 5 giveaways by Vancouver trying desperately to ice that puck, get it out of the zone. LA was able to keep it in the Vancouver end and apply a lot of pressure. But again, the stumbling block has been Dennis Richard Brodeur. Why do I keep calling him Dennis? Well, I think we're filled with as much excitement as the fans in Vancouver must be going through, because it has been such a gutty performance by a hockey club that have had a lot of injury problems, and here they're hanging right in with only 3 seconds away from victory.
Well, a chance for one shot with 3 seconds left. They'll try and get it to Evans. And now some shoving going on as Chartraw and Snaps, a couple of 27s, are pushing. They've got all the big guys out there in front of that goal. If they do get it back to Evans, I don't think Brodeur will be able to see it. However, Evans might not be able to get that puck through the bodies jammed in front either.
Well, with Helinka being a right-hand shot, if he can just shoot it against the board, it's all over.
Back to the line, it's over. The Vancouver Canucks defeat the Los Angeles Kings 5-4, despite the fact they were outshot 37-16. And the Canucks head for home with an opportunity to win the Smythe Championship on Wednesday night.
Well, I guess there will be no question who will be the first star again tonight, as Richard Brodeur comes through again. 2 magnificent performances here at the Coliseum in LA. Just, you can't say enough about the way he handled himself and also the defense behind him.
This is Stanley Cup 82 from Los Angeles.
Next, a consumer report with some financial advice.
Oh, Laurie and I started our own Amway business. We're building financial independence as Amway distributors part-time. And the extra income helped buy this car.
Sounds like you discovered a better life.
Oh, with Amway. So can you.
Contact an Amway distributor and get the whole story.
Your Greater Vancouver Ford and Mercury Dealers Service Guild introduced the lifetime service guarantee for cars and light trucks. Pay a participating dealer to repair covered parts once and never again. Available at no extra cost on new or used vehicles, regardless of age or where purchased. For as long as you own your Ford or Mercury car or Ford light truck. Lifetime service guarantee. You never pay twice. Contact your Greater Vancouver Ford and Mercury Dealers Service Guild.
In the land of Dairy Queen, we treat you right.
Welcome to the place where everything is pure and enchanting, rich and thick with all that's light, cool, and creamy smooth.
Discover the one place where good taste comes through.
Discover the Dairy Queen Banana Split.
In the land of Dairy Queen, we treat you right.
In their day, they made changes that affected the world. Patrick Watson talks to the men and women who made history. Titans returning Sunday, April 25th to CBC.
It was another nail-biter here at the fabulous Forum in Los Angeles. The Vancouver Canucks hanging on to defeat the Los Angeles Kings by a score of 5-4. Our three stars of tonight's hockey game, as selected by Hockey Night in Canada. Who else but number one, Richard Brodeur? He was absolutely outstanding. The Canucks were outshot 37-15 in the game. Richard Brodeur, the number one star. The number two star, what can you say about this man on defense? Harold Snepps, the number three star. Los Angeles Kings, Marcel Dion. Just a reminder of Game 5 tomorrow night. We move back up the coast to the Pacific Coliseum. The Canucks will have a 3-1 lead in the series. This is Steve Armitage bidding you good night for Stanley Cup 82 on the CBC.
CBC Hockey Night in Canada, brought to you by Canadian General Electric. Canadian Tire, where you'll find a lot more than tires. And by Ford of Canada. At Ford, quality is job one, right down the line. Hockey Night in Canada is protected by copyright. Unauthorized use by any means, in whole or in part, is not permitted.